Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Naruto's training trip didn't exactly go the way Jiraiya planned. Part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. Jiraiya of the Sannin walks at a brisk pace surprisingly. Normally he would be bantering with his student and his company, but Jiraiya is in a hurry to finish his next Icha book. His series hasn't had another installment in close to 2 years, so Jiraiya has a notebook out as he storms up ideas, and the reason for his writing hiatus is but 3 feet to his left. Naruto has his arms behind his head, his burnt orange and black jumpsuit unchanged. The only notable difference in Naruto's attire is he has 2 kunai pouches on his legs. He has a hip pouch on his lower back, which hold 4 scrolls, which if you looked you could make out the tops of them sticking out of the pouch. His black heshiate is cut shorter so it won't snag anything behind him, and his Konohagakure plate sometimes catches the sun as he strolls. Naruto glances to his left at his other company as they all travel back to the Hidden Leaf. Directly to Naruto's left is Karen Uzumaki. She's sporting a button-up long-sleeved white shirt and black shorts. Her Itagakure headband was left at the destroyed Itagakure base. Beside Karen is another female. The other female beside Karen has her eyes closed in thought, her raven straight hair rippling in the wind, her hair travels to the mid of her back, 2 long bangs frame her face and stop at her jawline. She's wearing a black kimono with a white undershirt which can be seen because the front of her kimono is open in the chest area. She also has a katana at her hip. Looking at the sheathed blade, it doesn't look special, just a black katana hilt and guard within a black sheath. Yes, this female very much likes the color black. Naruto himself spots the Konoha gates coming up and he lets out a happy sigh. We're almost home, Miro-senin. Naruto hears Jiraiya scoff beside him. Are you ever gonna stop calling me that brat? Naruto smiles toward Jiraiya, who glances at him. Nope. Jiraiya lets out an exaggerated sigh and puts his notebook away. I swear, you look just like Minato, but you act like Kushina. Good. I'm glad Ka-san told me she originally coined your nickname Miro-senin. And I'm gladder I picked it up. Someone has to remind everyone how much of a pervert and a menace to bathing houses you are. Jiraiya is about to retort when he notices the glare of both of their female companions. Jiraiya chuckles before looking away from Karen's pink glare and the other female's charcoal-like eyes drilling holes in his skull. Jiraiya is saved from further embarrassment as they approach the gates of Konoha. Naruto spots the 2 Chunin gate guard and can't help his laugh. Man. Some things really never change. Izumo, Katetsu. Said Chunin guards both look up from their desk. Izumo squints his eyes for a second before Katetsu grins, shoving his partner Naruto. Jiraiya-sama, welcome back to Konoha. Who are your lady friends? Naruto is about to introduce his female companions before he thinks better of it. I think it's better if we see Bachan before their identities get out. Sorry guys. Izumo and Katetsu share a look, reading each other's minds. Is this the same knucklehead from the Chunin exams 3 years ago? Izumo clears his throat. Of course. Lady Hokage-sama should be in her office. Head straight there with the foreigners before letting them anywhere else in the village. Naruto nods in understanding. Understood. You two don't work too hard. Katetsu rolls his eyes. Hearty har har. At least we've got job security. Nobody else wants to guard the gate and do the paperwork for foreigners, and when we're not doing this, we run errands for Hokage-sama. Easy job, easy life. Well, unless we piss Hokage-sama off, at least she heals any injury she causes. Haha. Katetsu rubs the back of his head sheepishly before Izumo shoves him. Who are you talking to, dude? Huh? Katetsu opens his eyes, and sure enough the group of 4 are gone. Once a little ways into the village, Naruto makes 2 shadow clones who both take off in separate directions. Jiraiya looks at his student curiously. What are they up to? Naruto holds up 2 fingers. Anko, and gotta clean my apartment up. I've been gone 3 years, remember? Do you really think Tsunadeheim just let your apartment waste away? I'm sure she had somebody looking after it. So you're gonna start studying the seal already? Naruto nods as they walk into the Hokage Tower. Yes. We already know I can remove the newer seal, but Anko's may differ. I want that thing off of her. She doesn't deserve the bullshit Orochimaru has put her through. Jiraiya leads his student and the 2 females up the stairs. I thought you only met her like twice. Jiraiya can't see Naruto, but he knows he's nodding behind him. You're right, but we both know I'm a good judge of character. Jiraiya chuckles. I can't deny that. You're just like Minato but also different. You both have unique charisma and the ability to read others. Their conversation came to a stop as Jiraiya knocks on the Hokage's office door. Jiraiya hears a crisp female voice enter. Jiraiya opens the door and plasters a huge smile on his face as Tsunade's hazel eyes land on him. We're back, Heim. Tsunade smiles as she spots Naruto behind Jiraiya. Naruto grins as Tsunade mission accomplished. We've got some things to discuss. Naruto's sharp tone makes Tsunade's eyes widen, and then she spots the 2 females that follow Naruto through the door before Karen closes it behind her. The room is silent as Naruto waits for Tsunade to ask the questions he knows she's going to have. His intuition proves correct when Tsunade steeples her fingers and speaks up, "Who's your lady friends, Naruto?" Naruto looks at both of the ladies before jerking his thumb toward Karen. This is Karen Uzumaki, former member of Itagakure. She can be trusted. She's defecting to Konoha. You two can talk about that later. Here Naruto pauses looking at his other female companion, he sighs loudly, and Jiraiya grins. Introduce yourself. The raven-haired female bows deeply before raising her head high. I am Satsuna Uchiha, Naruto-sama's faithful slave. Naruto groans loudly. Tsunade's eyes sharpen at the mention of slave. Explain. Naruto nods, but Jiraiya beats him to it. She's from Nade Shiko. Tsunade frowns. The Kunoichi village that sends its females out until they find a male who can defeat them in battle. Jiraiya's grin never fades. The very one. Satsuna here found Naruto during part of our trip. As you can get, Naruto beat her. Although she almost got him from the shock of seeing her Sharingan. Anyways, long story short, Naruto refused to marry her, so she made a blood oath. Tsunade's breath hitched. Blood oaths are never to be taken lightly, those who break them forfeit their life. She swore to serve Naruto until she drew her last breath as his slave. Naruto sighs loudly before lightly glaring at the female who's sporting a small smile. All of that without my consent. Satsuna bows to Naruto. Apologies, Naruto-sama, I await any punishment you deem appropriate. Naruto smacks his face, grumbling. Jiraiya can't help his perverse giggle at Satsuna's demeanor and word choice. Tsunade growls at Jiraiya, seeing his perverse mind at work. I swear to Kami-sama, Jiraiya, if you don't stop that I'll beat you worse than that time I caught you peeping. Jiraiya makes a conscious effort to compose himself at such a threat and mock salutes. Yes ma'am. Tsunade rolls her eyes before looking back at Naruto. Okay Naruto, anything you want to talk about? If not, you can show your lady friends around while I talk with Jiraiya. Naruto frowns as a rough topic broaches his mind. Yes, there is one more thing. Itachi Uchiha is coming back to the village, and the truth of the Uchiha massacre will be made public, and I need a favor. Naruto stops talking at Tsunade's crisp tone, and they lock eyes. I can't let that happen. Tsunade spots out of the corner of her eye Jiraiya's worried look. A moment too late. In the first time in history, Tsunade's desk is snapped in half by someone who's not her, as Naruto slams his fist into it while fixing her with a cold glare. Tsunade's breath hitches and her mouth hangs open. She briefly registers that Tsuna has drawn her katana and is holding its blood-red blade out behind Naruto, blocking her Anbu from subduing him. She also briefly sees Karen with two chakra chains coming out of her hands, and Jiraiya, well, he's just standing stock still letting everything play out. Her eyes then flick back to Naruto's hard glare, and time begins to flow again for her. No, you don't understand, Tsunade. Itachi is going to be here in 2 days, and the truth will be released or I am leaving this village. Do you understand? Tsunade sits stock still, her hands resting on her lap. Eventually she whispers out, Naruto, what happened to you? Naruto's features soften. I grew up and I realized there's more to the world than my dreams. Itachi doesn't deserve what happened to him and we're gonna make it right or I am leaving. Trust me when I say, nobody in this village can stop me. Jiraiya looks sidelong at his student before looking at Tsunade almost pleadingly. Listen to him. Tsunade's eyes flicker to her teammate and she registers how serious he is, which in itself means she should really listen. Tsunade looks down at her lap for several seconds, figuring out how this is gonna play out and the headache Danzo and the elders are gonna cause her. Eventually she pushed those thoughts out of her mind, leaving one behind. Naruto is right. That boy didn't deserve what this village turned him into. With those thoughts, Tsunade's let out a long sigh. Okay Naruto. Naruto smiles at Tsunade. I knew you'd see reason. Thank you. Tsunade nods more to herself than anything. She takes notice of her two Anbu guards still at the ready, only blocked by a pissed-off looking Uchiha holding a sword to their throats. Nico, Usagi, dismissed. Both Anbu take a big step back before disappearing via Shunshin. Satsuna smirks before sheathing her katana. Tsunade levels her eyes on Naruto. Okay, as for that favor. Itachi's got a problem, even I couldn't fix it, and I'm decent at medical ninjutsu. I think it's autoimmune disorder, but I couldn't figure out anything else, and Karen couldn't fix it either, and she's better than me. If anyone can cure him, it's you. So I'm asking you, please, help my friend and the man this village is indebted to. Tsunade knows Naruto is a very passionate person, hell, he dragged her back to the village, but seeing the look in his eyes as he pleads for her to help someone he considers a friend, there was only one answer she could give him. I'll do whatever I can, Naruto. Naruto gives Tsunade a dazzling smile that if she was about 50 years younger would have made her heart flutter. Tsunade glances down at her snap desk, her eyes sharpening. You're paying for this, brat. Naruto rubs the back of his head. My bad, good thing I'm pretty rich now, huh? Tsunade raises an eyebrow. What do you mean? Naruto smirks at Tsunade. Exactly that. I didn't just train while I was away. Not to mention I have access to my parents' savings now. Don't even start on how I know this and that, please. A lot has changed, Bachan. Now if you don't mind, I'd like to show Karen-ni and Satsuna-chan around the village. Tsunade stares at Naruto for several long seconds, not believing his personality has matured and changed so much. Eventually she averts her eyes, locking them on Jiraiya. "We've got a lot to talk about, Jiraiya. I want answers." "Naruto, Karen," Satsuna dismissed. Naruto mock salutes before opening the door for Karen and Satsuna. Once the door clicks shut, it bursts back open to reveal Shizune Tsunade-sama. Oh my, another desk. "I'll fetch another. I see you already know about Naruto being back." Toodles. Shizune quickly makes an exit, leaving Tsunade with Jiraiya. "Start explaining, Jiraiya." Jiraiya rubs the back of his head before leaning against Tsunade's window. "He grew up a lot. He's really like Minato when it comes to training, you know. Like a freaking sponge, he picked up everything I taught him and trained himself to the ground. Copious amounts of shadow clones helped." Tsunade nods. "Where would you rank all of his skills?" Jiraiya chuckles, laying his hands against his thighs. "Well, with unaugmented Taijutsu he can keep up with me. His ninjutsu is deadly, like seriously deadly. His genjutsu, well, he's not that good at casting anything, but he can break most. His sealing, well, he's better than me. He figured out how to break Orochimaru's curse seal of heaven with the help of Karen's notes on it." Tsunade reaches into her broken desk drawer and pulls out a bottle of sake. "Damn, the brat's really that good." Jiraiya shakes his head with a faraway look. "Probably better. I'm not exaggerating, Tsunade Haim, the kid's deadly. He also knows how to be a real shinobi now. You know, it was hard getting him to get used to killing, and I hated every part of that training." Tsunade takes 3 big swigs of the sake bottle before passing it to Jiraiya, who takes his own drink. Tsunade looks at the floor, lost in her thoughts of her own childhood and first kill before she focuses her mind on the present. "What about the Uchiha girl?" Jiraiya grins, not his perverted grin, but one of pure amusement. "Don't let Naruto fool you, he loves that girl just as much as she loves him. I can't count how many nights those two have stayed up talking about each other's lives, and no matter what, don't underestimate that girl. She's fiercely protective of Naruto, and that blade of hers is special." Tsunade is mildly amused of the thought of Naruto being in love. "What's special about the blade?" Jiraiya chuckles. "Naruto made it for her after he broke her old one. She named it Serpent. It's imbued with seals which when activated coats the blade in a deadly poison. One cut and it freezes up all your nerves and puts you in excruciating pain before you die minutes later." Tsunade is stunned. "And Naruto made it?" Jiraiya shrugs. "Sorta. Karen helped with the poison." "Don't worry, Naruto made it clear she is not to use the poison on any Konoha shinobi, and she's not to kill anyone from Konoha." Tsunade raises an eyebrow. "Would she have?" Jiraiya nods grimly without Naruto telling her no. "Most definitely. All it would take is for Sakura to look at him the wrong way and she would have sewered her. She knows all about her abusive tendencies toward Naruto." What about Karen? What's her plan?" "She wants to be part of Konoha's R&D department and she wants to work in the hospital. You'll have to work it out with her. She's a really bright girl, really. Just don't make her choose between family and this village. She'll side with Naruto every time." Tsunade groans. "That brat's causing me so much paperwork." Jiraiya grins at Tsunade. "You know you missed him." Jiraiya catches Tsunade's small smile and her lack of protest. Meanwhile, Naruto clone numero uno found Konoha's snake mistress hanging out with Konoha's Genjutsu queen. Both ladies are sitting outside of a gaunt-looking tea house. The clone approaches the two ladies. Anko recognizes him instantly if it isn't the brat from the Chunin exams. "How was your trip, kid?" Anko leans on the table, showing Naruto her exuberant attentiveness. "It was well, Anko. It's good to see you both. But I really want to get to the point and I'm sure you like the reason I'm here." Anko grins at Kurenai before cocking her head sideways at Naruto. "Oh? Anko, I know how to remove Orochimaru's perfected curse mark." Anko's eyes widen and she lets out a gasp. Instantly her hand goes up to her neck. "Why, you can really remove it?" Naruto nods. "Yes, but yours may differ from the perfected version. If you don't mind, I want to see it. Either way, I'm confident I will get that bastard's mark off of you." Anko begins to tear up and scrambles to take her coat off. Here any thigh." "Whoa, Anko, you don't need to take your coat off. Please calm down." Anko looks at Naruto expectantly. "See, calm down." Okay, it's just." Naruto walks over to Anko, placing his hand on her shoulder. "I know, we have a similar past, trust me, I know." Meanwhile, Kurenai is eyeing the blonde curiously, praying the blonde isn't playing a cruel joke on Anko. Because if he is, he's dead, Konoha shinobi or not. Naruto leans over Anko and she leans over so he has a better view of the seal in the sunlight. Naruto's sharp eyes trace every line of the small seal. The matrix is mostly the same, concepts the same, the only big difference is this isn't the upgraded version. So it'll actually be easier to remove. "Anko, do you know where I live?" Anko quickly nods as Naruto backs up. "Good, please come by my house tomorrow morning and I'll get that nasty piece of work off you." "Sigh, Anko." Kurenai. The Naruto clone poofs away. Anko looks at Kurenai excitedly. "Did you hear that Nai-chan?" Anko squeals like a schoolgirl, her excitement shown plain as day. Kurenai eyes her amusedly for a second before getting serious. "Anko, be realistic, Jiraiya-sama couldn't remove that thing. What makes you think Naruto can?" Anko's smile falters for but a second before returning full force. That brat's a lot of things, but he's honest to the T. I'm putting my trust in him, please just be happy for me, Nai-chan. Kurenai looks at her longtime best friend softly before nodding. She reaches over and grabs Anko's hand with a smile. Okay Anko-chan. Hey girls. Hana Inyazuka takes a seat beside Kurenai and soon Yugao sits beside Anko with a huff. All three ladies eye their purple-haired friends Wasapugi. Anko bumps the off-duty Anbu. Yugao scowls. Nothing, just some wannabe swordswoman caught me off guard earlier. Hana glances at Anko and Kurenai. Oh. Do tell. Yugao launches into the meeting between Naruto and the Hokage. Meanwhile Naruto is leading his cousin and slave around Konoha showing them the sights. He just finished with Team 7's old training ground before rubbing the back of his head. Hey, are you too hungry? I know the perfect place. Karen looks at Setsuna with a shrug. I could eat. Setsuna smiles at Naruto. I concur with Karen master. Naruto scowls at Setsuna. You really have to stop calling me that. Setsuna just tilts her head sideways cutely. Naruto adverts his eye not falling for her trap. Naruto's figured out Setsuna pulls off the cute and innocent look way too well. He rolls his eyes. Whatever, come on, to Ichiraku's. Naruto leads the two ladies across the village to his favorite ramen stand. He pushes the flap open with a grin when he spots Am. Ni-chan, old man. Fire up the grill because Naruto Uzumaki is back in town. Am whirls around and lunges at Naruto as Karen giggles at Tauto. Am wraps Naruto in a bear hug. I missed you so much, little brother. You have to tell me all about your trip sometime. And who are your friends? Naruto took his time introducing both Karen and Setsuna. He wisely didn't let Setsuna introduce herself this time. Naruto just finishes his sixth bowl and is regaling Am and Tucci with a story about his time in Sunagakure when the flap to the stand open and a tall jounin walks in. Naruto glances and he grins instantly. Kakashi-sensei. It's good to see you. Kakashi eye smiles at Naruto. Yo, it has been a while Naruto. How have you been? Naruto rubs the back of his head, a social tick he'll probably never shake. I've been surprisingly good. Some rough patches here and in there, but things have been going pretty smoothly. Kakashi sits down and crosses his arms on the counter. That's good. I just came by to let you know Hokage-sama wants to see you in the hour. Oh, and she'll see Karen here about her becoming a part of Konoha also. Naruto quickly nods, and Karen's face is one of excitement. Okay Kakashi-sensei. By the way, Iro-senin wanted me to let you know, he's almost done with Icha Assassins. His newest book, he said he should be finished within the next day or so, and he'll let you have the first copy. The cycloptic Jounin's eye shines with anticipation. Oh, well thank you for letting me know Naruto. I'll see you later. Kakashi quickly left Naruto and his entourage alone. Naruto hums lightly before looking over at Setsuna. You like to read Iro-senin's books, think it'll be any good? Setsuna smirks as she looks up, her eyes seem to sparkle as she thinks of Jiraiya's Literotica. Most definitely master. We should read it too. Not happening. After eating Naruto, Setsuna and Karen wander the village a little bit. That's how he runs into one Konohamaru and his genin teammates. Boss. Naruto turns and spots Konohamaru running toward him followed by Mogi and Yuden. Konohamaru crashes into Naruto's waist hugging him. Naruto chuckles while patting his shoulder. I missed you too Seru. Konohamaru backs up looking at Naruto strangely. Seru. Naruto shrugs. What? It's easy to say. It takes Naruto a bit, but he eventually shakes Konohamaru after leaving his team a clone to teach them a trick or two. Now he's back in Tsunade's office to hear what she has to say. Surprisingly she already has a new desk which she's resting her elbows on. Alright Naruto. By Jiraiya's account you're a Jounin level shinobi. That being said, should you accept I'm entering you in Konoha's next Jounin exams? Naruto grins at Tsunade. I'm gonna ace the exams, believe it. Tsunade smiles at her surrogate grandson. You better. Some of your classmates are also going to be taking the exams. Really? A sharp couple of knocks on the door interrupt whatever Tsunade was going to say. Enter. Sakura walks into Tsunade's office followed by Tenten and Lee. Sakura's eyes instantly glue onto her teammate Naruto. You're back. Naruto spins around at the sound of his old teammate's voice. He grins at Sakura. Haha yep. It's good to be back too. Man I miss this place. Sakura returns her teammate's smile. We should catch up later. Lady Tsunade, you requested our presence. Naruto turns back around to face Tsunade. Tsunade steeples her fingers as she eyes her shinobi. Yes, Lee, Tenten, Sakura, Naruto, all of you have expressed interest in the Jounin exams. I called all of you here to tell you, I approve. I think you all have what it takes. The exams are in 3 days. Report to warehouse 66 at 9 AM in the morning. Lee cheers and Tenten tries to calm him down. Meanwhile, Sakura is gaping at her sensei Naruto's being allowed to skip a rank. Naruto winces, having forgotten how loud his teammate can be. Tsunade nods at her student. Yes. Due to special circumstances Naruto is being allowed to skip Chunin. Tenten, Lee, dismissed. Lee saluted while Tenten bows before the duo leave quickly. Tsunade waits for them to leave before eyeing Karen. Karen Uzumaki, tell me in your words what your plans are in Konoha. Karen straightens up her stance. Ma'am. I want to work in Konoha's research and development department. I believe my creativity and IQ will be of use. I would also like to work part-time in Konoha's hospital due to my prowess with medical ninjutsu. Also, in Konoha's time of need I am willing to fight as a shinobi. My chakra chains are very deadly, but I prefer to avoid field work if all possible, ma'am. Tsunade mulls over Karen's words for several seconds. I don't want to crowd you in at Naruto's place, so come stay at the Senju compound until you're settled. Tomorrow we'll start getting your paperwork on the way. Karen bows to Tsunade. Hi. Thank you. Tsunade smiles at the teenager before turning her eyes to Satsuna. Your turn. Satsuna gives Tsunade a sweet smile while Naruto grumbles waiting for whatever she's going to say. I go wherever Naruto-sama goes, I am his faithful slave. What? Sakura lunges toward Naruto determined to wring his neck. Before she can register what's happened, Tsunade had jumped over her desk and had pushed her chest lightly, of course lightly for her, still pushed Sakura all the way to the back wall of the office. Sakura looks at her teacher in confusion until her eyes widen, seeing Satsuna had drawn her sword and had it near the spot where Tsunade's hand was still lingering. Tsunade clears her throat. Sakura, please refrain from attacking Naruto, Satsuna may kill you. Naruto gives Satsuna a stern look. No, she won't. Satsuna sheaths her sword. Hi, as master said, I would have only drew blood, Pinky would have survived if just barely. Sakura gulps, her mind feeling a little dizzy at her near-death experience. What's up with that crazy bitch Cha? Tsunade herself straightens up before returning to her desk. Please continue, Satsuna. Satsuna returns to her cheerful demeanor. Hi, I am his faithful slave, don't even consider me a citizen. Lady Tsunade, I am but his property. Naruto grumbles before looking at Tsunade. Make her a citizen of Konoha, Bachan, I'll make her sign any paperwork she needs to. Ah, master is so cruel. Naruto sweat drops at how softly and nonchalantly she can say that. Tsunade chuckles at the girl's antics. She has a point, Naruto, slavery is barbaric but not illegal, technically she is your property. Naruto sighs loudly, but I don't want a slave. Satsuna-chan. There's got to be an alternative to this blood oath thing. Satsuna keeps her soft smile on her face, but it's Tsunade that answers. I'm sorry Naruto, there's not. Blood oaths aren't meant to ever be broken. Whomever makes one binds themselves to the Shinigami, so if they break it, he can instantly harvest their soul. Naruto nods solemnly. Sakura just watches in the background, doing her best to get the gist of what's going on. Naruto eventually chuckles before looking at Satsuna softly. Maybe I should have just married you, Asuna-chan. Satsuna nods at Naruto. Maybe that would have been best, master. But I have to admit I rather like the relationship we currently have. It's unique. Naruto chuckles. You could say that again. Sakura eventually recovers enough to speak. She walks up behind Satsuna. Excuse me, Satsuna-san. Both Satsuna and Naruto turn towards Sakura. I would like to start over between us, I hope we can be friends. My name's Sakura Haruno. Sakura sticks out her hand. Naruto looks at Satsuna, half juicing what her reaction's going to be based on her past interactions with other females she's shown obvious dislike towards. Satsuna looks down at Sakura's hand before looking Sakura in the eyes. I have no intention of ever being your friend, Haruno-san. Also, if you ever attempt to harm my master again I will hurt you. Satsuna glares at Sakura while showing her her 3-tomo Sharingan. Sakura gasped. The Sharingan. BB, but I thought, you must be related to Sasuke-kun. Satsuna sneers, having heard stories of her master's other teammate. I surely hope our blood is very far apart. I do not wish to be considered anything like that mongrel. Sakura gapes at the girl in front of her for a solid second before she starts shaking. How dare you. Sakura, enough. Sakura ignores Tsunade as she looks at Naruto. You're just gonna let her talk about our teammate like that? Naruto shrugs in an uncaring manner. She can say and think whatever she wants. The only thing you need to worry about is the fact I'm gonna be bringing Sasuke home as soon as we figure out where Orochimaru is. Sakura can't believe her teammate is putting up with this girl bad-mouthing their teammate. Her face is taking on several shades of red as her anger rises. Naruto, take your girlfriend and go before Sakura blows a fuse. Karen, stick around, I'll have Shizune show you to the Senju compound in a bit. Naruto nods to Tsunade before jumping out of her window, Satsuna following close behind. Tsunade sighs, that girl is something. Karen sweat drops. You don't know the half of it. You should have met her before she lost to Naruto. She was all fire and fury, now she just acts like a tamed kitten. Tsunade looks at Karen strangely. That's a very strange and specific analogy. Karen shrugs. I calm how I seem. Besides, you haven't known her as long as I have. Tsunade raises her eyebrow. Do go on. Karen snickers before gulping. Trust me, you'll see her habits and tendencies over time. I'd rather not tell you. She gets rather heated and sometimes violent if Naruto Nai isn't around to yank her leash back into obedience. Again with the strangely specific analogies. Meanwhile Naruto and Setsuna make their way into Naruto's apartment. Naruto's clone had dispelled earlier, letting him know minimum cleaning had to have been done and the refrigerator had to be refilled, both tasks the clone completed. Naruto sits on his couch and Setsuna sits beside him in a very formal manner. First day back, got a little bit done. What do you think? I think today was very amusing to say the least. I look forward to making friends when I am not servicing you, master. Naruto blushes. You make everything sound dirty on purpose, don't you? Naruto isn't looking at her, but he can sense her damnable smirk. I don't know what you mean, master. Maybe it is just you thinking dirty thoughts. Naruto blushes again before shaking his head. No, I know for a fact you try to tease me. Naruto look at her and sure enough her small cute yet annoying smile is on her face. Think as you wish, my master. Naruto sighs before leaning back on his couch. He notices Setsuna's formal way of sitting and knows she's waiting for his command at ease. In an instant Setsuna cuddles up against Naruto's chest with her hands against his stomach. Naruto's eye twitches. This isn't exactly what I meant, you know. Naruto smiles knowing she's trying the cute and innocent thing she does to mess with him. Sometimes I can't tell if I love you or hate you. Setsuna slowly raises her head so her mouth's near the nape of his neck and he can feel her soft breath. Maybe it's both, master. I know what you're doing, stop. Setsuna touches her button-like nose to Naruto's neck, sending a tingle through his body. Stop what? I'm just trying to get comfortable. Naruto closes his eyes as he thinks over all the nights he spent awake with Setsuna, getting to know her. It was a challenge getting information out of her. It was even harder getting her to ask him questions with her submissive personality. Naruto remembers hearing about her tragic past of war and bloodshed, loss, depression and loneliness. He knows exactly why she chose to cling to him so tightly, because in the end, he is her anchor. The one that saved her from herself and the haunted past. Setsuna is sometimes subtly flirtatious and seductive, but Naruto knows he could rebuff her advances forever and she'd still be happy because she knows Naruto loves her. He's never told her directly, but she's never asked. They have a closeness born in subtlety. Setsuna outwardly admits she's completely in love with Naruto. Naruto hasn't admitted it yet, but she knows she's wearing him down. Naruto leans his head against Setsuna's. She leans back so their foreheads are touching. Setsuna looks up, looking Naruto in the eyes. Into the twin oceans that are Naruto's eyes, she gets lost at sea. Naruto feels her breath on his lips and the slight hitch when his eyes shift. Setsuna. Why yes, master. Naruto smiles ever so lightly before he shifts and slowly starts to stand. Naruto hears Setsuna let out a disappointed little mew. He chuckles at her obsession with making cat noises when disappointed. I'm gonna go shower. Then I'm going to bed. Can I help? Naruto pauses on his way to the bathroom. He looks over his shoulder. I'm not ready, Setsuna, just put up with me for a little longer. Once I'm done in the shower you can take your own shower, then we're heading to bed. Anko was anxious, really anxious. The high from hearing her curse mark can be removed has only worn off slightly, but with the excitement also comes the worry, and with worry comes the second juicing. Can he really do it? Is it possible to truly be free from Orochimaru? Can I finally look myself in the mirror and see more than all the names the villagers used to call her crawled back up to the surface? Snake whore. Traitor. Turncoat. Bitch. Anko's eyes water. For a long time she's managed to conceal her pain behind closed doors, or sometimes block it completely with the help of Kurenai. Anko doesn't kid herself. If Kurenai Yuhi hadn't reached out to her when she came back, if she didn't help convince others she wasn't a traitor, Anko would have killed herself within the first week she returned. Anko takes a couple of slow breaths to calm her nerves and wipes the water out of her eyes. She's been standing in front of Naruto's door for Kami knows how long now. Anko works up her nerves and raises her hand to knock. Before she does, the door swings open and she's face to face with a ravenet. Setsuna looks Anko up and down. Stay silent please, Naruto-sama is still in bed. Please come in, Anko-san. Anko stares at the ravenet for several long seconds. She's wearing a big baggy black shirt with the Uzumaki seal on the chest area. Anko can't tell if she's wearing anything else due to the shirt going down to the top of her thighs. No girl can be that hot. And her face. It's like sculpted porcelain. Anko-san, please cease your staring and enter. I have breakfast prepared and I'll be waking Naruto-sama shortly. If Setsuna caught Anko checking her out, she didn't mention it. Anko snaps back into reality. She nods to the ravenet and slowly walks into Naruto's apartment. She slowly looks around as Setsuna closes the door behind her. The ravenet walks up to Anko and whispers in her ear, sit, table. Anko shudders as her hot breath hits her earlobe before her eyes narrow, she's being alluring and aloof on purpose. That bitch. That's my gimmick. Anko silently stomps her foot before slowly making her way into Naruto's kitchen and sitting down like a fuming child who was just told no. Meanwhile Setsuna slowly opens the door to the bedroom. Naruto is laying on his back with one arm behind his head, the other slung across his eyes. He always shifts into funny positions by the time I return to wake him. Setsuna fights back her own giggle before tiptoeing her way to his bed and slowly crawling onto the bed. Once on the bed on all fours, Setsuna slowly crawls up to Naruto and wiggles under the arm he has across his eyes, so she's close to his ear. Naruto-sama. Most people couldn't tell when Naruto wakes up. Jiraiya taught him how to wake up without instinctively shifting or changing his breathing pattern, but Setsuna always knows. She had his attention as he takes in his surroundings without moving. Naruto-sama, breakfast is ready and Anko-san is here. She's anxiously awaiting your presence. Naruto unslings his arm from across his eyes and turns to face Setsuna. She can still see the just waking up deliriousness in his eyes as he mumbles out, "Kami, I love you." Setsuna's eyes widen before narrowing lightly. TCH, he's half asleep, doesn't count. Initiate plan B, attack. Setsuna quickly straddles Naruto's waist and grips his shoulders while taking a deep breath. In an instant she shakes him violently. Naruto-sama, wake up. The effect was instant as Naruto's eyes lose the haziness and he grabs Setsuna's hands to stop her. I'm up. Setsuna leans down so her face is in front of his and her chest is pressed against his. Good. Setsuna. Yes, master. Please get off of me so I can get ready. TCH, as you wish, my master. Setsuna slowly crawls off of Naruto and makes a show of walking back out of the room by swinging her hips back and forth. Naruto can't help but stare. It doesn't help, she's the most attractive woman he knows. She's picking up her game. She's getting tired of my hesitance and showing it, but am I ready? Am I good enough for her? Maybe she deserves better. Maybe. Naruto's eyes lower, his childhood insecurities flaring to life. Even if Setsuna knows everything about him, still, his childhood always used to have him at the brink of depression, always had him questioning himself and plaguing himself with the same question that now plagues his mind. Am I loved? Am I worthy of being loved? Yes, even after everything, deep down Naruto Uzumaki is insecure and scared of the unknown and what it's like being unconditionally loved like Setsuna is trying to show him. Naruto walks out of his bedroom fully dressed and ready for the day to come. He has work to get done. Naruto swiftly strolls through his living room and into his kitchen, where he spots Anko sitting nervously. She spots him also. Naruto grins at her while sitting across from her. Let's eat, then I'll remove it. Oh, okay. Setsuna lays 3 plates out before passing out the breakfast: eggs, bacon, sausage, and toast. Once everyone is situated, Setsuna takes a seat beside Naruto, really close to Naruto. Setsuna bows her head and waits. Naruto smirks knowing he's probably about to surprise Anko. Let's pray Anko's eyes betray her shock and some of her liveliness returns during that shock. I didn't take you as the spiritual type, Gaki. I'm sore. Naruto holds up his hand. Anko, just be yourself. You don't have to force yourself to be respectful and stuff. And yes, I am spiritual. I know for undisputed fact the Shinigami is real. That leads me to believe the other gods are real also. Now let's pray to my namesake deity that originally blessed my clan. Anko nods dumbly and bows her head with Naruto and Setsuna. Susanoo-sama, Kami of storms in the ocean, I pray to you as one of the last Uzumaki. I ask that you please continue to look out for the rest of my clan wherever they may be and that you bless our food. In the challenges that are to come, know this member of the Uzumaki clan will continue to pray to you. Please extend your favor over my friends also, even those ignorant of your godliness. Amen. Naruto and Setsuna both raise their head and watch as Anko silently mouths her own prayer and whispers out amen. Once she raises her head, Naruto grins at her. Okay, let's eat. Once Naruto, Setsuna, and Anko finish eating, Setsuna gathers the dishes and starts washing them. Naruto looks at her back affectionately. I don't know what I'd do without you. Probably live in uncleanliness, master. Naruto chuckles awkwardly, not giving her a response. Instead he stands up from his seat and moves to stand to Anko's right. Once there he leans over the table and his pointer finger on his right hand starts to glow with chakra. Then he starts writing out a circular sealing matrix. This is a secret Uzumaki technique, it's called chakra scrying. It allows us to write seals using our chakra, as you can see. The only reason my clone couldn't do this yesterday is because I didn't give it enough chakra. I've successfully modified the shadow clone jutsu so I can choose how much of my chakra they get. If they're running errands for me, I give them the bare minimum. Anko watches attentively as Naruto's finger writes seal after seal. Soon Setsuna walks over and stands slightly behind Naruto as he keeps writing. Eventually Naruto finishes. The end product is a huge circular seal that spans nearly the whole table. Naruto glances over it with a nod. Next he places his hand over the seal and turns his wrist counterclockwise. The seal turns also while shrinking. The seal rapidly shrinks until it fits on Naruto's palm. Now that the seal's mini turret strangely looks like the yin-yang symbol. Hold still, Anko. Anko rigidly sits straight up and Naruto walks behind her and places his palm over the cursed seal. Naruto takes a deep breath on 3. 1, 2. A slight hiss is heard followed by a little smoke from under Naruto's hand. Naruto pulls his hand away and the curse mark is gone, the only thing left behind is slightly pink sore-looking skin. Naruto places his hand on Anko's shoulder. Congratulations Anko, you're a free woman now. Anko shudders and Naruto looks at Setsuna mirror. Setsuna quickly strolls into Naruto's bedroom and returns with a handheld mirror. Setsuna sets it in front of Anko who's still shaking with her eyes closed. Anko, go ahead, look. Anko slowly brings her hand to the mirror grasping its handle. She tentatively brings it up and opens her eyes. A loud gasp escapes her mouth as she looks at her neck. Slowly tears start streaming down her face. Anko puts the mirror down and spins around hugging Naruto tightly. Her body jerks heavily at her emotional tears. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Naruto rubs the Jounin's back as he looks at Setsuna in a pleading manner. She just mouths one word to him: endure. It takes Anko a little bit to calm down. When she does, she grabs the mirror again to make sure she wasn't delusional. Naruto, I have to repay you somehow. No Anko, you know. Naruto, anything you ever need. Don't hesitate to ask. Naruto inwardly sighs knowing she's not gonna settle with not repaying him. Okay. Naruto looks over at Setsuna. Get dressed, High Master. Setsuna strolls back into the bedroom. Soon she walks back out wearing a black kimono similar to the one yesterday and a burnt orange undershirt. She also has her sword on her hip. Naruto throws her his wallet. You're dismissed for the day. Naruto looks down at Anko. Anko, if you really want to repay me, I can only ask you to do one thing. Hang out with Setsuna-chan today and see if you can help her make friends. Naruto stands up looking at the raven-haired Uchiha. Anko smirks, her playful nature seeping through. Sure, I'll steal your girlfriend for the day. Naruto blushes heavily. Setsuna doesn't miss a beat. You, nor anybody else will ever compare to Naruto-sama. Naruto takes a deep breath knowing you're gonna draw attention and claim I'm your master to anyone who asks. Setsuna-chan, if it comes up you are not to omit details, reveal you are my slave by choice via blood oath. Got it. Setsuna bows lightly. High Master. Naruto nods. Good, well I gotta go see someone, you two have fun, Jana. Naruto disappears in a smokeless shunshin. Anko looks at her new female companion. So, is he any good in the sack? To Setsuna's credit, only a light blush settles on her face. I don't know yet. But I'm sure it will be enjoyable. Anko looks at her suspiciously. Wait, you're a virgin. Setsuna actually blushes heavily. Naruto quickly makes his way across the village via roof hopping. He glances up and sees it's still rather early in the morning. Naruto jumps down from the roofs and walks for the last block until he's standing in front of the Hyuga compound. The two Hyuga men standing in front of their gate don't so much as glance at Naruto until he's standing right in front of one of them. May I help you? Yes, I need to see Neji Hyuga. He left early this morning. He will be with his old teammates. Naruto nods to himself. That would make sense. Where does Bushy-brow sensei's team train again? Naruto strolls away from the guards and makes a clone check the outer wall of Konoha. Bushy-brow sometimes has his team runs laps along it. I'll check their training grounds. Much to Naruto's ire, once all members of Team 9 made Chunin or higher, their team was officially disbanded, so they stopped using Training Ground 9, passing it on to another genin team. It takes Naruto the better part of an hour to find the members of Team 9 at Training Ground 27. Once Naruto spots them, he hangs back for a second. He sees Neji sparring with Lee and Guy holding off Tenten with nunchucks. After a moment, Naruto sees Neji and Lee's spar slowing down and assumes they're about done. Naruto starts making his way toward them. If Neji spotted Naruto with his Byakugan, he didn't say anything. Unsurprisingly, it's Lee to break away from the spar to greet him. Naruto-kun. Yosh, have you come to stoke your flames of youth with Guy-sensei? Naruto chuckles while quickly deciphering his jargon. No, Lee, I actually need to speak with Neji, privately. The Hyuga nods to him stoically. Our training will be halted within the hour. Can you wait? Naruto nods to him and takes notice of his attire. Neji is wearing all white clothes beside his Jounin vest, which stands out like a green thumb. Even his Heshie cloth is white. Naruto moves away from Team 9, letting them train in peace while chuckling at Neji's new gimmick. Well, it's good to see he made Jounin. I wonder who else pulled it off in our generation. Naruto actually takes time to think about it. Shika could do it, but he wouldn't want the responsibility. Shino's definitely a Jounin, dude smart. If he picked up his Taijutsu, he should be pretty good now. I don't think anyone else in our generation's made it yet. Juice, I'll find out over time. True to his word, Team 9 dispersed an hour later, each member leaving in a different direction. Neji makes his way over to Naruto, who's leaning against a tree. What do you want to talk about, Naruto? One sec, Neji. Naruto holds his hand up in a half-snake seal and closes his eyes. After a second he opens them. Okay, we're really alone. Neji, you're the first person I'm telling about this. I want to remove the cage bird seal from the Hyuga branch house, and I know how. Neji stares at Naruto stoically for several long seconds. I thought it was impossible without knowing the inner workings of the seal, which are sealed within the Hyuga archive under heavy guard. Are you telling me you stole from my clan? Naruto grins at Neji. Not exactly. Naruto's face sharpens as he looks Neji in the eye. I am about to reveal to you 2 S-class secrets of the Hidden Leaf Village. Do you understand what that mean? Neji nods. I cannot repeat the information. Why are you telling me? I trust you Neji, and I want you to trust me. My father, the Yondium Hokage, was conspiring with Hitomi Hyuga against the main house of the Hyuga clan. She gave him information he needed to start devising a way to remove the cage bird seal. Unfortunately he died before he could put any of that to use. Well, I finished it. Neji looks away from Naruto, trying to hide the fact his stoic facade cracked a little at hearing Hinata and Hanabi's mother was doing something like that. Naruto, as much as I want to be free from the seal, freeing us would cause a revolt within the Hyuga clan. Naruto quickly shakes his head. Leave the main house to me. I've got this Neji. But I need your help. I need you to spread word among the branch house. If they want their seal removed, they are to gather at training ground 15 tomorrow, early in the morning. There I will free them. Don't worry about any snitches, like I said I'll handle the main house. Can you help me Neji? Neji is quiet for several seconds before he takes a deep breath and looks at Naruto. I'll do whatever I can. I'll trust you Naruto. Naruto grins at Neji. Meanwhile Setsuna and Anko are currently walking the streets of Konoha after a trip to the clothing store. Both Setsuna and Anko pick up that a lot of the civilian populace have begun staring at Setsuna. Anko makes her thoughts known. Looks like word of Uchiha being in town has spread. Damn, look at all those respectful looks. Wish I had your popularity. Mild amusement flickers across Setsuna's face. Their attitudes will change soon. Within the next week I won't be surprised if they look at me the same way they look at Naruto-sama. Anko raises an eyebrow, well aware of the kid's rep with the civilians. What makes you say that? Setsuna smiles. One of my clanmates is coming here, one I respect. With him comes a truth that will ruin the village's view of my clan, while ironically raising the village's respect for him as an individual. To put it bluntly, my idiotic clan's reputation is about to be non-existent. To say Anko is surprised is an understatement. You really don't like your clan, huh? Not in the slightest. My clan is a stain on the shinobi world. Very few members ever turned out good and respectful. I hope by the time I pass on I will have earned one of those spots. The uncomfortable silence settled between the duo as they walk aimlessly for several minutes. Anko takes the initiative to change the subject. So Kenjutsu, huh? Are you any good? Setsuna smiled while looking down at Serpent. By the standards of Tetsu no Kuni Samurai and the 7 swordsmen of the mist, I am a top-tier swordswoman. Anko whistles. You met the 7 swordsmen? Only 3 of them, and one of them was but a teenager who still hadn't mastered his blade. Anko looks at her companion funnily. First you upplay your skill, then you downplay them, which is it woman? Are you good or not? Setsuna giggles. When the time comes you will know Anko-san. Boy. Fuck that cryptic bullshit and answer my question. Anko. Said Kunoichi snaps her head down the road and spots Kurenai waving at her. Nai-chan. Come on Setsuna, let me introduce you to my best friend. Anko grabs Setsuna's hand and drags her along. Anko runs up to Kurenai, stopping in front of her. Nai-chan. Juice, what the Brad actually did it. Look. Anko leans to the side, giving Kurenai full view of where her curse mark used to be. Kurenai's face develops a bright smile. Congratulations Anko-chan. Dango's on me next time we go. Anko throws her arms up in the air in a cheer. Dango. Setsuna watches the energetic Kunoichi with amusement before Kurenai's attention flickers to her and her eyes shine with recognition. So you're the swordwoman Yugao was talking about. It's nice to meet you. I'm Kurenai Yuhi, Jounin of Konohagakure. Setsuna eyes the woman for a second before inclining her head slightly in a nod. Pleasure to meet you, Setsuna Uchiha, faithful willing slave of Naruto Uzumaki by blood oath. Kurenai looks at her strangely, while Anko chuckles. Would I know you actually listen to the gaki? Setsuna tilts her head to the side, looking at the snake mistress of Konoha. Why of course, Naruto-sama's word is law. For me his orders come before all else, although I may disobey some orders in hopes of being punished. Anko grins something sinister. Oh ho ho, a misogynist. I'm more of a sadist myself, but I sometimes switch. Whoa. Anko-chan, we are not having this conversation. Especially in the middle of the street. Not to mention, how old are you young lady? Anko rubs her ear. Yeesh Nai-chan, you're loud. Setsuna gives Kurenai a lightly closed eye smile that nearly made the woman squeal from the cuteness. I am 16. 4 months younger than Naruto-sama. Kurenai looks at Setsuna blankly for a second. Anko manages to squeeze in a comment. Huh, so you're a July baby. So 2 months to go. Hi. Kurenai finally reboots. I seriously thought you were like 14. It must be your height, you're short. Setsuna pouts. I am not short, I'm fun size. Anko burst out laughing while Kurenai shakes her head. After Anko recovers she starts measuring Setsuna's height by her own. Anko-san, I'm 5'5" if you're that curious, and Naruto-sama is 5'8". Ah. You ruined it. I was just about to juice. Screw you. Anko fumes as Setsuna's eyes shine. No thank you Anko-san, that privilege doesn't belong to you. By now Kurenai's a blushing mess, CC can we just go get something to eat? In response Anko throws her arms up Dango. Niji did his job flawlessly. After talking with Naruto, Niji made his way to his compound and systematically spread the information of Naruto's plan. Within 2 hours every branch member had a little hope in their eyes. It's also during this time Hiyasha overheard a discussion between branch members about Naruto's plan and called a meeting with the elders. Hiyasha, being the man he is the last to enter the council chambers within the main house. He slowly lets his eyes look over the old faces of the clan's elders. 6 old guys that either made his job hell or made it easy. Hiyasha clears his throat. I called this meeting to discuss some troubling information. It seems knock knock. Hiyasha glances at the door to the council chambers as it slides open. For him the air grew colder as the cause of this meeting stepped into the room, grinning at him. Hiyasha-san, it was so good of you to gather your clan leaders in one place for me. Really makes my job easier. Naruto walks into the middle of the room. Naruto Uzumaki, what is the meaning of this? A elder that strangely enough reminds Naruto of Hiyasha spits at him. Naruto grins at the old coot. Simple. I'm removing the caged bird seal from the branch house. The council chambers roar to life as many of the elders scream blasphemy of tradition and other bullshit. Naruto didn't care for silence. The growl in Naruto's voice stopped all forms of conversation. All of the elders knew of the boy's prisoner, and hearing that growl along with the temperature drop of the room struck a chord many of the elders forgot they had fear. Good. I've given the branch house till tomorrow to decide if they want their seal off. Now I don't know if any of you coots are crazy or not, so I'm gonna say this so there won't be any misunderstandings. If within that time any branch member is attacked or their seal is activated, I will kill the one who did it. Understand? Naruto didn't wait for a response, capitalizing on their silence. Before I hear any whining. This is not clan bussiness. This is not political, this is not village bussiness. This is me. Now that my message is done, good day gentlemen. The Naruto in front of them poofed out of existence. Hiyasha's mind works a mile a minute. What have you done, boy? Setsuna is mildly surprised by Anko's ability to eat so much. Dangomai, you remind me of Naruto-sama when he eats ramen. Anko makes an effort to smile while stuffing her face. Setsuna looks away at the other female in their group. Kurenai-san, do you have any people in mind I should befriend with the pretense that Naruto-sama and I plan to live here indefinitely? Kurenai pauses eating her own snack. She shifts the piece of Pocky in her mouth around for a second. Well, we'll introduce you to our other 2 friends, Hana and Yugao. Yugao-chan may be a little miffed with how you 2 first met, but she'll get over it. Other than us and them, I suggest you just make an effort to network with Naruto's friends. Who knows, some of them may be mature enough for your standards. Although when he was younger I never pegged Naruto as the mature type. Something crosses Setsuna's face that surprises Kurenai. Pain. Naruto-sama has changed, he was forced to with what we faced. The Akatsuki, they took someone from him he was trying to save. Then Kiri was hell, war is hell. Seeing war hardened his heart in a way he'll never be the way he was. I watched him change. He's still the kindest, gentlest, most amazing man ever. But now he knows how to be ruthless. It hurt so much watching him become just like me. Kurenai is shocked into silence. The somber mood Setsuna hit them with also shocked Anko out of her appetite. Anko swallows her bite as quietly as possible, as if not trying to disturb the silence. What happened, Setsuna? Setsuna levels her eyes on Anko. She stares the snake Jounin in the eyes for several long seconds. Even after she speaks, Anko isn't sure if she found what she was looking for. It started in Kumo's territory. It was a week after I had joined both Jiraiya, Karen and Naruto-sama on their trip. Naruto-sama being Naruto-sama, somehow, by a stroke of luck or tragedy, we ran into Yujito Nai, the Jinchuriki of the 2-tailed demon cat. Naruto-sama befriended the woman. Naruto-sama was adamant we stay in the area a little bit so he can visit his new friend a little more before moving on. Setsuna frowns. On our last day there we all felt the demonic chakra of a tailed beast. Naruto-sama raced off knowing his friend was in danger because the cat was her last resort trump card in a fight. I followed. We arrived on the scene of Hyden the Sacrificer and Kakazu the Immortal both taking on Yujito. Both Naruto and I attempted to help. But in the end we were too late. They had already weakened Yujito enough that soon after we joined the fight, she collapsed from her wounds and chakra exhaustion. Setsuna narrows her eyes in anger. Those bastards stalled and kept their distance until they found an opening and escaped with Yujito. We tried to follow, but it was useless. That was the first major event that changed him. After that he threw himself into training like never before. He improved massively. Setsuna takes a deep breath and lets her anger go slowly. Her face settles back into its neutral look. A tinge of sadness in her eyes, but by far Kurigakure molded him the most. We went there to find someone to train Naruto's water affinity. There he witnessed the horrors of war and the monsters that make themselves known among men during times of war. Naruto got his training and so much more. I watched him slaughter a battalion of Yugura's men before helping Mei Terumi take on the Mad Cage himself. In the end we left that country with a new Mizukage being installed into power. It was months ago when we finished there. Those events shaped Naruto. Some people will call him an angel, others a demon. Believe both of those individuals. Not everyone gets to see the Naruto that we know. I've seen him show off his inner devil and believe me, he's terrifying when he's in that mindset and nobody I know living or dead can stop him when he's like that. A cold silence engulfs the table. Setsuna has a faraway look in her eyes and both Kunoichi glance between each other, but it also makes him totally hot. Anko's laugh echoes across the village. Naruto tracks down Jiraiya and finds him atop the Hokage monument writing in his journal that very few knows he has. Out of respect Naruto hangs back and lets the man finish his entry. Eventually the old sage lifts his pin and closes the book before it disappears into one of his seals on his body. Naruto walks up and sits beside the man and they both look out across the village. So how did you decide to deal with the Hyuga clan? Naruto glances to the part of the village he knows their compound is. I'm freeing the branch house tomorrow. I chose fear to keep the main house in check. Fear can develop into respect, hate would have only sowed more discord. Jiraiya chuckles, you really took those psychology lessons seriously. Be careful Naruto, both of those emotions are closely tied together, fear if complete leads to hate. Naruto nods. I know, which is why once the branch house is free, I'm gonna offer Hiasha a way to ease the tension that's gonna be there between the main and branch house. Don't worry sensei, I'm gonna earn that clan's respect. I'm airing out the immoral bullshit in the village one stain at a time. Jiraiya allows a silence to settle between them for a minute before he pulls out a book and tosses it to Naruto. A gift for your girlfriend. Naruto catches the book and looks at the cover. Icha Assassins. Gold edition. What's the difference between gold edition and regular? Jiraiya chuckles. Perversely gold cost more to make, so I only ever make 10 copies of each book in gold. The specialty is the fact they contain illustrations for the major scenes. Naruto scrunches up his nose so the golds actually have porn in them. I seriously can't get why so many people read these. Jiraiya chuckles. I'll let you in on a secret Naruto, there are 2 types of people who read my books. 1. Those who aren't getting any. 2. Those who are looking for ideas to use in bed. Neither reader is disappointed with my books. Naruto looks away in thought for a minute before putting the book away. You're leaving again soon aren't you? Jiraiya nods. I have to, I need to find Orochimaru and I need to keep track of the Akatsuki. Naruto nods solemnly, he's genuinely gonna miss the old pervert. Naruto reaches into one of his leg pouches and holds out a tri-pronged kunai for Jiraiya. Jiraiya looks at the kunai before grasping it and holding it in his hand. You remember how it works right? It has 2 complex seals, channel chakra into the one on the handle and I'll be there instantly, channel chakra into the seal on the loop and I'll flash you out of there. Jiraiya continues looking at the kunai remembering his first blonde student Minato would be proud. Naruto looks away. Thank you. Be safe Jiraiya sensei. I'll see you later. Jiraiya grunts before Naruto disappears in a shunshin. Naruto spots Setsuna, Anko and Kurenai and decides to pay them a visit. He jumps down from the roof and Setsuna is the first to spot him across the street. She smiles at him as he approaches Naruto-sama. Anko spins around. Brat. Your girlfriend's kinky you know that. Naruto blushes while looking away. In a swift motion Naruto pulls out his Icha book and tosses it to Setsuna. She catches it in one hand and looks at the cover. Naruto looks and he swears he sees a sparkle in her eyes. Tell Jiraiya-san thank you for me when the chance arrives Naruto-sama. Naruto nods as Anko leans across the table to look at the book. Oi. The new one's out. I gotta get a copy later. Kurenai blushes putting the dots together, the fact Jiraiya wrote it and there's only one book series Anko likes. Great another pervert. Naruto chuckles hearing Kurenai. You have no idea, I've been dealing with her for close to 2 years. Setsuna puts her new book away in her kimono and pouts. Master, you wound me. Naruto raises an eyebrow at Setsuna and decides to go along with her playfulness for once only if you beg. Setsuna and Kurenai both blush, Kurenai so much she matches her favorite student. Anko for her part slaps the table with a chuckle. Damn kid. Well hello who do we have here? Hana Inyazuka walks up to the group of 4 her ninkin trailing behind her. Naruto looks at her as a memory pushes itself to the forefront of his mind. I remember you, after the Sasuke retrieval mission you were in Kiba's hospital room healing Akamaru. Hana gives Naruto a toothy grin showing off her sharp canines. Hana Inyazuka at your service, heiress of the Inyazuka clan and head veterinarian of Konoha's wildlife. Hana gives Naruto a mockbow everyone can tell is more for show than any form of respect. Naruto Uzumaki, troublemaker extraordinaire and Konoha's next Hokage at your service. Naruto returns Hana's mockbow with more flair in his own. Once he's standing straight up again, Hana gives him another one of her toothy smirks. I think we'll get along. At this point Hana turns her eyes to the raven-haired Uchiha sitting with her friends. So this is the Uchiha that ruffled Yuga-chan's collar so much. Kurenai nods at Hana's rhetorical question. Yep, this is Setsuna Uchiha. Setsuna nods to the Inyazuka heiress. Before her eyes focus on Naruto as she sees him tense up. Well ladies, I still have a few errands to run before we run out of light. See y'all later. Sayagaki. Bye Naruto. Come see Kiba sometime, he still wants a rematch from the Chunin exams. Naruto nods to Hana before hopping to a nearby roof and out of sight. Anko takes a second to focus on Setsuna Suo. About that joke Naruto made, think you'll be getting any tonight? Another pink tint returns to Setsuna's face as Hana takes a seat beside her. Naruto makes his way across the village to the Hokage's tower, showing respect for his teacher's preferred entrance. Naruto jumps in through her window. Tsunade fixes Naruto with a glare. I swear you become any more like that pervert, I'm gonna lose my mind. Naruto chuckles at the comparison. Honestly, he doesn't see that many similarities between himself and Jiraiya. I'll keep that in mind. Bachan, can you get a carrier to go to Kurigakure? Tsunade looks at Naruto putting her paperwork on hold. Yes I can. Any reason why I should? Well, how does the betterment of Konoha's protection and economy sound? Tsunade's eyebrows raise. Sounds very appealing. Good, because I got a letter to send to the Mizukage. Afterwards she should be coming here within a week or so to broker alliance between villages, that includes Suna in case you're wondering. Tsunade claps her hands together in front of her face as her mind works quickly. 3 of the 5 great nations in alliance, that's never happened before. Naruto, do you know what this means? If we play our cards right, Iwa and Kumo will see our alliance and become worried. This could lead to a 5-way alliance. Or war. Tsunade's eyes focus on Naruto, who shrugs. Hope for the best outcome, but prepare for the worst. That's my motto, and it's gotten me through more than a couple situations alive. Tsunade sighs. You're right, I just hope another war doesn't break out. Naruto nods before placing his letter on Tsunade's desk. You and me both. Well, I'm heading out. Oh, if any of the Hyuga clan come by to throw a fit, sorry Bachan. Before Tsunade can ask Naruto why he disappears. Hana doesn't have any problem melding Setsuna into their little group. In fact, the 4 females get along quite fine. Too bad Yugao showed up and instantly gets in a foul mood seeing the raven-haired swordswoman. Yugao approaches at a subdued pace. Naturally, Setsuna spots the girl approaching and recognizes her purple hair. Ah, that's why you don't like me. You were one of the Anbu that tried to subdue Naruto-sama. Yugao's cheeks burn at the insult to her abilities. In return, Yugao growls at the Uchiha. I want a Kenjutsu match between you and me. Afterwards we can put all this behind us. Despite her anger, Yugao can tell the rest of her friends seem to like the teenager, so she can't continue to be mad at her if she's gonna be seeing her more often. Thus a Kenjutsu match will be her chance to regain some of her lost pride or cement that Setsuna is just better than her. Then she has no reason to be ashamed. In the shinobi world, there's always someone out there stronger than you. You just have to accept it and move on. Atlas, that's her mindset. Setsuna nods. Very well. Setsuna stands up and the rest of the females follow her example, wanting to see this for various reasons. Yugao nods. Come on. She takes off in a stroll. Yugao leads the group to a training ground with a large clearing. She turns around and drawls her tanto. When you're ready. Setsuna nods. She looks over her shoulder and Anko, Kurenai, and Hana step back to give the 2 ladies room. Setsuna nods before turning around to face Yugao. Setsuna grips the hilt of her katana. Yugao levels her tanto in front of her chest, holding it with both hands. Then Setsuna lowers her stance and blurs forward. With a loud hiss she drawls serpent. Yugao lowers her stance and sharpens her eyes, trying to keep up with her approach, but just as she starts tracking her movements, Setsuna picked up her speed again, turning into a black blur. Instantly she's on Yugao. She brings serpent down at angle, hitting Yugao's tanto hard enough she nearly slaps it out of her hand. Yugao grits her teeth, her hands going numb from the power. Setsuna reverses her grip, bringing serpent back up at angle. She cuts through Yugao's vest, showing her skin without drawing blood. Then she yanks back and stabs forward, placing the blunt side of serpent against Yugao's jugular. That whole sequence took less than a few seconds. Yugao doesn't move as Setsuna looks at her impassively. Don't feel bad, Yugao-san. I've taken down large groups of shinobi with my Kenjutsu. There's a reason I prefer the blade over other forms of combat. Naruto walks into his apartment as the sun starts to set with a content smile and gets ready for the night, showering and changing into nightwear. He lays down in bed. It isn't 20 minutes later Setsuna joins him, crawling into bed and laying on his chest while draping her left arm and leg across him. Setsuna lets out a comfortable sigh. I take it your day went well. HMHMM. I made some friends, got to show off, and now I'm cuddling up to the greatest man in the world. Naruto doesn't audible respond at first, instead wrapping his left arm around Setsuna's shoulder, squeezing her lightly. She sighs again contently. Tomorrow things are gonna pick up a little. Itachi's coming and I'm freeing the Hyuga. Setsuna snuggles her head against Naruto like a cat would need a pillow. I'll be with you, Naruto-sama. It'll be fun seeing Itachi Nai, he's easy to embarrass. I'm so happy you could talk him out of his self-destructive path. Naruto hums. Good night Setsuna-chan. Good night Naruto-sama. Naruto stands in training ground 15 early in the morning, the sun is just barely peeking the horizon. Naruto looks in front of himself at the large group of Hyugas. He counts at least 60 adults and some children. Setsuna is standing beside Naruto, her light smile on full display. She's wearing a black form-fitting t-shirt today, her shirt hugs her skinny frame showing off her bust, which in itself isn't that impressive, a B cup. She's also wearing black form-fitting pants, her pants hug her legs and butt showing off her peach-shaped firm butt. She has serpent on her hip tied with a black sash. Naruto clears his throat before speaking up. Okay everyone, let's get started, please form 5 lines. Naruto puts his hands in the cross seal making 4 clones. He's given each clone enough chakra to complete the task at hand. The Hyugas quickly form into lines. Ironically, Neji is the first person standing in front of the real Naruto. Neji takes off his headband showing Naruto his curse seal. Naruto nods, reaching into the pouch on his back pulling out a small green scroll. Naruto unrolls it slightly. I pre-prepared this seal, so this process should take less than an hour for everyone. Neji nods stoically. Naruto places his palm on the scroll, and when he pulls it back he has a seal on his palm that resembles hourglass. Naruto places his hand on Neji's forehead. Neji feels a little discomfort and heat for a second before Naruto pulls his hand back. Done. Next, Neji, not to be caught off guard, quickly steps around Naruto and turns around letting his other branch members see. Murmuring begins, he actually did it. We can all be free. That's all Neji needs to smile, knowing Naruto followed through. Neji doesn't bother putting his heshiate back on for now. He lets his clanmate see his unmarked forehead as he stands proudly. It takes Naruto a little more than an hour to free the branch house, mostly because some of them got really emotional. Something Naruto wasn't expecting was a grown Hyuga man hugging him in tears. Seeing the now free branch house of the Hyugas talking excitedly among themselves, Naruto smiles contently. Naruto feels a hand on his shoulder and looks at Setsuna. Good job Naruto-sama. Thank you Setsuna-chan. Come on, let's leave them to figure out how to celebrate. Setsuna nods and they both disappear in a swirl of leaves. Naruto and Setsuna appear on a rooftop on the edge of Konoha. Naruto creates a clone and sends it off. Naruto nods before looking at Setsuna. How much you wanna bet Itachi's already here? Setsuna shakes her head. I've learned my lesson Naruto-sama, only a fool would ever bet against you. Naruto pouts. Oh, that's no fun. Welp, there's 1 or 2 places he'll be, let's go. Ayasha sighs, going through paperwork. He wasn't foolish enough to approach the Hokage about this matter. She would side with the blonde Jinchuriki 9 times out of 10. Instead, he's already started damage control, talking down the elders, informing the rest of the main house of what's going on. He's never seen Hinata smile so brightly. Anabi did well to mask her emotions, but Ayasha knows his daughter well enough to know she doesn't approve of breaking tradition. The elders have groomed her to think that way. Ayasha sighs, rubbing his eyes. Then he hears a knock on his office door. Ayasha activates his Byakugan and groans, seeing the grinning blonde. He nods solemnly, deactivating his Byakugan. Enter. Naruto enters Ayasha's office and takes a seat in front of his desk. Naruto leans back in the comfy chair and smiles. Ayasha's eyebrow twitches. Why are you here? Naruto hums lightly, straight to the point. Huh? Fair enough. I don't think you're a dumb man, Ayasha-san. You know now that the branch house is free, and I've destroyed the scrolls on how to recreate the cage bird seal, there's gonna be resentment and a divide. Ayasha's stony facade doesn't shift. Yes, some elders approached me yesterday with concern that some of our scrolls were missing. Naruto grins. I'm doing what is right, Ayasha-san, whether you agree or not. Now I'm here to offer a little advice on how to cure the rift that's coming. You can take it or don't. I'm willing to hear out what you have to say. It's obvious you've planned this and put a lot of thought into it. Naruto nods. Make main house techniques available to the whole clan. Offer the same classes main house children get to branch house children. If you want to keep servants you need to pay them more or offer other incentives. We both know your clan makes enough money to do both. Then the stigma branch house members exist to serve. Instead, install the belief each Hyuga is capable of greatness. Get your elders in check, don't let them create trouble. You're the clan head, act like it. And lastly, you need to seriously consider grooming Neji to be the clan head. Ayasha silently thinks over everything the blonde has to say. It's a good plan, boy. But do you really think it'll be that easy? Naruto shakes his head. Nope, nothing's easy. If you want to make it through this storm, it's gonna require hard work and sacrifice. Welp, I've given you my advice, think about it. If you want to bother the real me later it might take a while. He's busy. Jana. Naruto poofs out of existence, leaving Ayasha to silently fume. That's the second time he's used a clone. Disrespectful brat. Itachi stares down at his parents' grave, silently mourning them. He lets out a silent sigh, feeling 2 chakra signatures approaching. Told ya, 1 of 2 places. Hi. Itachi turns around, his tired half-blind eyes showing a little bit of joy as he smirks. Naruto-kun, Setsuna ni. Naruto grins at the older Uchiha man. Itachi, cheer up bud. You stress too much. I agree with Naruto-sama. Itachi Nai, you'll never get a girlfriend looking stressed all the time. Itachi blushes, still warming up to the thought of finding a woman to settle down with. I'm trying. I just have a lot to worry about these days. Maybe when we get my little brother back I'll stress a little less. Naruto nods. We'll get him. Come on, let's go see Tsunade Bachan. Itachi shakes his head, so disrespectful. Naruto rolls his eyes. Whatever. I take it you got in undetected. Itachi looks at Naruto blankly. Right. Well, you need to lay low till Tsunade Bachan makes the announcement. Alright, grab on Satsuna-chan. Satsuna grabs Naruto's right hand. Naruto places his left hand on Itachi's shoulder. They all disappear in a yellow flash. Tsunade puts down her pin and rolls her wrist. With a sigh she looks at the few papers she has left to go over, knowing more will be coming soon. The never-ending war on paperwork. Maybe I can dump them on Shizune and take the day off. Tsunade leans back in her chair. She stretches out her arms and closes her eyes, stretching. She lets out a sigh. Then suddenly she feels a weight on her lap, her eyes snap open, and she gets an eye full of blonde hair. What the hell? Naruto leaps over the desk, hearing Tsunade yell. He hurriedly spins around and sees Tsunade glaring death at him. Itachi and Satsuna are to either side of her. My bad, Bachan. I haven't had a chance to put down my own Hirshin seals in Konoha yet, so I had to use an existing one, which happened to be on that chair. Tsunade continues to glare at Naruto, while Itachi and Satsuna walk around the desk to stand on either side of him. Never again, brat. Naruto salutes. Yes ma'am. Tsunade sighs before looking at Itachi. Itachi, meet me at the hospital at 10 tonight. You're gonna be laying low for a while. I still need to talk to the clan heads, and I'm debating whether I should tell the elders or just surprise them. It should take less than a week, then you can become a real citizen again. Itachi nods as you say Hokage-sama. Tsunade smirks, gesturing to Itachi. You could learn a thing or two from Itachi. Naruto already have Bachan. Tsunade huffs. Whatever you brat. Naruto, the Jounin exams are tomorrow. Once you pass, report to me. I've got a mission that arrived today which will be perfect for you. Naruto nods before turning toward Itachi. Wanna hang out? Itachi shakes his head. Actually, I'd like some time alone. It's time I return to the Uchiha district. Naruto places a hand on his shoulder. You know how to find me if you wanna hang out. Don't start blaming yourself again. Itachi nods slowly before vanishing in a poof of smoke. Naruto sighs. Well, I'll see you later. Bachan. Naruto and Satsuna both leave out the window. After getting a fair distance from the tower, both Naruto and Satsuna stop roof hopping. So what's on the agenda for the rest of the day? Naruto-sama. I say it's time I catch up with my friends. Unless you want to do something else. Satsuna opens her mouth to respond but closes it abruptly before opening it again. Actually, Naruto-sama, I want to see if Anko-san is up yet. I'll catch up with you later. Naruto nods. Okay. Don't start trouble. Satsuna smiles before disappearing via Shunshin. From a distance, Sai watches from the shadow of a chimney. Uchiha split paths with Jinchuriki. Sai nods to himself and begins to move when he's jerked backwards hard. In a flash, Sai is slammed back first against the chimney, and a blood-red katana cuts his cheek and ear before sticking in the chimney. Sai looks up toward a pair of Sharingan eyes. Why were you following my master? Due to his training, he doesn't outwardly react to the pain. Inwardly, he cringes. Sai remains silent. I can see your fear. I can see you want to speak, but you won't. You're one of those little roots. You are so lucky master ordered me not to kill you bastards yet. Then again, master isn't here enough. Let him go. Satsuna jerks with surprise. She looks up to see Naruto watching the duo impassively. Satsuna sneers at Sai before taking a big step back, sheathing her blade. Naruto clears his throat, noticing Sai tense up. Run along, spy. Tell your master to watch his step. One false move and the uprooting begins. Sai disappears in a swirl of leaves. Naruto looks at Satsuna. You didn't really think I fell for that, right? Of course not, master. I just wanted to instill a little fear in the mongrel. Hopefully Danzo will make a move and we can eradicate him. Naruto chuckles. Danzo's not stupid or brash. I don't think he'll make a move yet. Not unless we make him think we're a threat, and no, we're not going out of our way to antagonize him further, not yet. For now we let him play his games in the shadows. Again Ino sighs loudly. Shinuo, I'm just not any good at this. Ino, I remind you, you asked for my assistance. You can't always be support for Shikamaru and Chaoji. Ino sighs again before slowly going through the hand seals for a Jutsu Earth Dragon bullets. A dragon head made of mud burst from the ground before falling apart. Ino groans loudly. That's it. I want a break. Come on Shino, we're friends, right? You know any gossip you wanna share? Shino takes a second to adjust his sunglasses. Nothing you don't already know. Naruto's back, along with a mysterious Redeed who claims to be a Uzumaki, and by Sakura's account a violent black-haired girl who's also Uchiha and apparently Naruto's willing slave. Ino leans against a tree, crossing her arms. Yeah, Sakura calling anyone violent is a little hypocritical. What do you think? We're about to find out. What? Hey guys. Shino and Ino turn toward Naruto, who's grinning at the duo. Setsuna is following slightly behind him. Naruto. What are you doing out here? Naruto scratches the back of his head. Well, I've been looking for the rookie 9 all over. You guys are the first I found. Shino nods. Hinata, Kiba, and Shikamaru left for a mission this morning. Chaoji is training with his clan, and Ino has asked for my assistance so she can make Jounin soon. To put it bluntly, her non-clan related jutsu needs a lot of work. Ino slaps Shino's shoulder. Shino. Don't point out a girl's flaws. It's not nice. Shino shakes his head. The point of training is to find flaws and fix them. Ino rolls her eyes. Whatever, Mr. Know-it-all. Naruto, I heard you've been busy since you got back. Why not talk about it? Naruto shakes his head. Not really, Ino. Everything I've been up to you'll hear about if you haven't already. So I gotta ask, Shikamaru really made Jounin? I didn't think he had to drive. Ino rolls her eyes. Yeah, lazy bones put enough effort into becoming Jounin. He's still lazy though. The rest of us have been working hard to catch up to Neji, Shika, and Shino. They're the first to make Jounin so far. Although, I heard through the grapevine you're being given special treatment and you're skipping Chunin. Naruto chuckles. You say it like I haven't earned my chance for Jounin. No offense, Ino, but I've been on more S-rank missions than the whole rookie 9 combined, and I've been training with a Sannin for 3 years. I've earned my shot at the Jounin exams. Ino shrugs coyly. If I think Hokage-sama has a soft spot for you, it doesn't matter. Ino turns her eyes to Setsuna. Ino smiles at her. I've heard quite a lot about you too, just so you know. Setsuna raises her head and locks eyes with Ino. Yes, I took Pinky as the type to whine to others. I've heard a bit about you also, Ino. Yamanaka clan, you mostly play a support role in your team. You're pompous and callous, not to mention superficial. Unlike Pinky, I think we can be friends. Ino frowns and sharply turns toward Naruto. What have you been telling her about me, Narubaka? Naruto shrugs. Just stories about our time in the academy, missions, and the Chunin exams. I've kept my opinion of you guys to myself. Anything she says is what she really thinks. Don't take it personally, she insults everyone at some point. I find her honesty and cynicism refreshing. Ino turns her glare on Setsuna. You don't insult people you want to be friends with. Shino spots a sparkle in Setsuna's charcoal eyes and correctly guesses there's an inside joke he's not about to get. Ino, most of my friends didn't become my friends until after I almost killed them. Consider yourself lucky for your chance to be in the minority. Naruto snickers, fully getting the inside joke, while Ino involuntarily shivers. That's terrifying. Naruto shrugs. It's how we met too. Listen guys, we'll have plenty of time to catch up and stuff. I don't want to waste your training time. We're gonna head out. Shino takes the opportunity to speak before Ino can try and get out of training. That would be for the best. Ino still needs to get her earth jutsu down before lunchtime. Ino huffs. Bug brain's right. I don't want to waste his time. Don't be a stranger just because you're a big shot now, Naruto. And Setsuna, I juice we can be friends. Setsuna nods. Naruto turns around and walks away. He waves over his shoulder. Good luck, Ino. You to Shino. Naruto and Setsuna gain some distance from the duo. Well, Setsuna-chan, looks like everyone's busy and I don't really feeling like taking it easy. Wanna go find a training ground? There's always room to improve, plus we can place limits on ourselves, prohibit certain jutsu or tactics, you know, the usual. Naruto glances at his companion to get her opinion. Setsuna nods. Sounds fun, Naruto-sama. You know I'm never gonna get used to that. I wish you'd just treat me like a normal guy. Setsuna looks at Naruto from the side. Naruto-sama, I believe I know you better than you know yourself. That being said, Setsuna places her hand on Naruto's shoulder. He turns toward her and they lock eyes. Stop torturing your own soul. I love you. Naruto holds her gaze for a second. His mouth goes dry under her intense gaze. Eventually he tears his eye away. See, come on Setsuna-chan. Let's go train. Hanabi is having a bad day. It started out like any other. She awoke, got ready, and found her father in his study so she can begin morning training. That's when it started. She noticed instantly his troubled and distant mood. She didn't press. She knew he wouldn't want to talk about it. He never has in those situations. After training, she noticed all the servants are gone. Worse, all of the branch members are gone. Now that is highly unusual. She knew they were having their seals removed, but for them to abandon their duties, that's just insane. Hanabi, not having to go to the academy due to special circumstances, spent most of her morning around the compound, watching other main house members brood around. After failing to find her sister to request more training, Hanabi decided to leave the compound just to get away from main house problems for a while. At first it worked. She got her mind off all the problems her clan's going through. She just watched people go about their day. She watched genin teams running around performing various D-rank missions, and it made her happy knowing soon she'll be assigned her own team. Then she found them. It looked like the whole branch house went to a single restaurant, a Akamichi barbecue joint. She watched, all of them were smiling, some of them dancing, others just talking and eating. This was all wrong. Hyugas don't show emotion in public, all Hyugas are supposed to be formal and stoic at all times in public to represent the clan appropriately, but they are all smiling, dancing, some crying. All of her training, all the traditions she has learned over the years scream this is all wrong. Then she spotted Niji, his heshiate is off, showing his unmarked forehead to the world. Hanabi ran away. She couldn't take it anymore, she had to escape this public place, tradition dictated she had to find somewhere private to release her emotions. She ran, everything blurred as she's lost in thought, she ran until no more buildings can be seen. Once out of the populated areas of Konoha, Hanabi stopped and placed her hand on a tree. Then she registered the sound of metal against metal. Hanabi huffed in frustration, well, at least I'm away from my clan, I wonder who's fighting way out here. Hanabi slowly works her way through the forest, preferring to pique her curiosity the old-fashioned way, instead of just using her Byakugan. She found them, and her mind went blank, the man who started all of her problems, right in front of her. Her mind barely registered the woman he's fighting, she did notice he's fighting with a kunai versus the lady's sword, and she noticed he was having a hard time. Suddenly her mind rebooted, so to speak, the man responsible for all of her problems is right in front of her. You. Naruto instantly sheaths his kunai and spins around, he notices Hanabi storming toward him. Setsuna, I'll handle this. His mind focuses back on the young Hyuga. You're ruining my clan. You baka. Years of tradition. Years of training. She attacks him, it's fast and it isn't controlled, her attacks are sloppy, but nevertheless deadly. Naruto moves fast, dodging her palm and finger strikes. Whoa. Calm down, firecracker. Hanabi growls loudly and redoubles her effort to hurt him. Naruto quickly begins slapping her wrist to keep her chakra conducting strikes away from himself. I'm just gonna have to wear her out, there's no way she'll listen while enraged. Naruto keeps dodging and parrying, and he thanks Kami, she's too angry to actually use any real technique or strategy other than attack. Much to Naruto's surprise, Hanabi's able to keep up her assault close to 2 hours. Setsuna had begun to nap by the time Hanabi started showing signs of exhaustion. Where she lacked in physical energy, she made up for vocally. Baka. 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 Hanabi eventually collapses onto her knees, breathing heavily from her verbal and physical assault. Naruto, seeing his only opportunity, takes his chances, he bends down on one knee and gets eye level. Then he speaks softly, hey, listen. Eventually there was going to be a revolt in the Hyuga clan, my way has reduced the fallout. Kid, the branch house didn't deserve that seal. Now they have a chance at a life they can choose. You truly can't tell me they had a fair life, you can't tell me the main house didn't abuse their power over them. I'm speaking from the heart when I say this, the Hyuga clan was due a revolution, screw tradition. You seem like a smart kid, firecracker, think about it. Hanabi huffs, regaining some of her breath. You don't understand. Naruto smiles sadly at her and pats her shoulder. No, I don't understand torturing family, nor do I understand how the branch house put up with cruelty for so long, and yet, they can smile now, they have hope now. Kid, take the time to look into your clan's traditions, I think you're smart enough to spot the flaws I did. Hanabi squints her eyes. Flaws? Naruto chuckles. We're leaving, Setsuna-chan. A loud yawn fills the clearing, followed by a 10-4. Naruto stands up and glances down at Hanabi one more time before disappearing in a whirlwind of leaves. Hanabi watches blankly. My clan has flaws. Setsuna stretches out her arms, still getting over her short nap. What was that all about, master? Naruto hums. I'm not completely sure, but I think that was my classmate's little sister. It doesn't really matter, I just hope she's still young enough she isn't stuck in her ways, and she'll question her clan's past and present morals, and the flaw's real purpose the seal served. If my intuition's right, she can figure all that out by viewing the Hyuga archives. Setsuna smiles and looks up toward the sun's position. You're putting a lot of faith in her, you must have really saw something in her. Naruto nods slowly. Yeah, you saw it too. Right. Setsuna giggled. I did, she very much reminds me of you, master. If you were to switch places I could see you being like her. Naruto chuckles. Yeah, I wonder if she has the same potential everyone says I have. Tsunade shifts a stack of papers into her completed pile. One of her Anbu agents is kneeling in front of her desk. With all due respect, Hokage-sama, are you sure you want to do this? Tsunade takes her time to put down her pin, she cracks her knuckles and neck before looking at the commander of the Anbu Black Ops. Yes, Karasu. I'm absolutely positive. If anyone can pass, it's him. I want a written report from you afterwards, followed by your own opinions and thoughts, and thank you, Karasu, for taking time away from your duties for this. The Black Mask Anbu bows. Of course, Lady Hokage dismissed. 9 AM came fast for Naruto. He finds himself in front of the nondescript looking warehouse standing alone. He's willing to bet the other Jounin hopefuls are already inside. He's dismissed Setsuna for the day. He doubts Konoha officials would want a non-Konoha shinobi around to spy on the Jounin exam process. Naruto takes a deep breath and makes his way inside, through the sliding door. Inside, he takes a second for his eyes to adjust to the lighting difference. He can see half of the warehouse is closed off, and other than himself, there's only a chestnut-haired, hazel-eyed Jounin with a clipboard in this part of the warehouse. She looks up from her clipboard as he approaches. Hello Uzumaki-san, good you're on time. I was getting worried. The others have already been taken to their personalized exam. We'll start yours here since you're our last exam me today. Okay, firstly, the power portion of the exam, you are going to be ranked on your taijutsu, ninjutsu, and genjutsu. Any specialized techniques you wish to showcase you will be allowed to demonstrate later. Okay, let's do the simplest first. Please demonstrate all of your highest ranking ninjutsu techniques. Keep in mind, you're being scored on power, chakra consumption, and battle practicability. Naruto waits an extra second just to make sure she's done talking. Naruto chuckles awkwardly, all of my most powerful techniques huh? Well, don't blame me when you gotta rebuild this place. To her credit the examiner kept her compasser all the way up until he tore a whole wall off, sent the roof into the sky, then put several craters in the ground. The examiner took a second to pick up her pin before hurriedly writing down the results. A rank water and wind jutsu, S rank water and wind jutsu, Lord Fourth's jutsu, okay, let's continue. It took the better part of an hour for Naruto to complete the power portion of the exam. Afterwards his examiner led him into the surrounding forest into a small clearing. On the way she briefly explains the second portion of the exam. The next exam is the tracking hunting portion of the exam Uzumaki-san. You will be scored on your speed recovering the subject and securing him. Afterwards he will give you the location of your next exam. Oh look at that he has a head start. Entering the clearing it's obvious a battle went on here, smoking craters, tore up portions of the ground, and in the middle of the clearing, there's a little fresh blood. Naruto's fast to pick up the blood trail, adding chakra to his nose, didn't help as much as he wanted, the scent is obscured. With a sigh Naruto cut the chakra and relies on his eyes to find a trail, much to his ire, there's more than one trail leading away from the clearing, there's 3. False trails, how long did this person have to prepare? Shadow clone jutsu. Spread out, find the real trail, if your trail ends pop yourself, if you think you have the right trail use a Hirshin marker. Hi. 5 clones spread out through the clearing, 3 of them moving down the trails he already spotted. Less than 3 minutes later a clone flares a Hirshin marker telling Naruto he found what he believes is the real trail. Naruto Hirshines to his clone and picks up the trail, he allows his other clones to stay around just in case they have a lead. After a minute the trail split again into 4 trails son of a shadow clone jutsu. The trail split 6 more times, specks of blood can be found on each trail making it even harder, so each trail had to be followed. It took Naruto an hour until he came upon a stream. Laying in the stream on their knees is a person wearing a leather cloak. Getting closer Naruto spots the blood dripping down the person's arm into the stream. Fu there the bastard is. Naruto looks upstream spotting the 3 figures, 2 men and a woman decked out in Black Ops gear. Naruto sighs silently, so this is what she meant by secure. Naruto walks up to the kneeling figure holds still Naruto raises his hand to the man's shoulder and uses mystic palm healing. Within a couple of seconds the gash in his shoulder seals itself shut. Alright, since I don't trust you not to run, Naruto slaps his palm onto his shoulder, a seal quickly spreads out and the figure goes stiff, just a paralysis seal don't freak out or it'll start hurting. Naruto looks up at the approaching Anbu. Sorry fellas, I'm claiming him, I have my mission, get lost. Naruto stands up straight in a confrontational manner. The figure in the middle, the woman raises her chin, this is above your pay grade Genin. You will hand over that traitor or you will be court-martialed and trialed for treason. Understood? Naruto slowly reaches into his leg pouch I've got a peculiar fighting style, fast and painful in a quick and fluid motion. Naruto slings a kunai out of his pouch at the middle Anbu. In a blur she pulls out her own kunai, with a loud clang she blocks the flying metal. Her eyes land on where Naruto just was find high. With a loud gurgling choke she flies backward clutching at her stomach. Naruto from his crouched position quickly pivots on his left foot, he spins his right foot high and kicks the Anbu to his right across his mask. Naruto hears a loud crack but doesn't bother to look, the last Anbu has time to drawl his tanto, but freezes when his masked eyes land on Naruto's cobalt cold gaze. That moment's all Naruto needs, in the blink of an eye a blue spiraling orb forms in his right hand and he slams the orb into the Anbu's chest, the Anbu flies backward spinning, his tanto goes flying. Naruto spins around recognizing the other 2 Anbu could very well be in fighting shape. He relaxes seeing the female Anbu just getting up sucking in deep breaths, the other one has his arm across his face, his mask lay in pieces beneath him. Mask compromised captain. The female Anbu finally brings herself to her feet retreat Hachi. Get Tanuki. Ma'am Naruto doesn't bother watching him, instead he focuses on the captain I've got a theory when fighting, the more pain I put opponent in the less likely they'll want to re-engage me. That is, if I'm trying to keep them alive. The Anbu chuckles before clutching her stomach in pain damn effective kid. Normally this part's the real test, I say you pass. Sigh kid. Naruto turns around as she shunshuns away. Naruto approached the masked and cloaked figure and lays a hand on his shoulder, target secure. The cloaked man nods. Training ground 33, cliffside, thank you. Naruto takes off in a run. The cloaked man slowly stands up and takes his cloak off, his silver spiky hair is finally free from its confines. The female Anbu from before shunshuns beside him. So what do you think? Ooh, the kid's got a haluva punch. I swear if I knew I would have a fist imprint on my stomach for a week I would have never agreed to this. How did he even do it? Kakashi. Kakashi looks at his friend as she takes off her mask. Well, you made a fatal split-second mistake, Anko. I had a pretty good view of it. That kunai he threw at you blocked it downward, causing it to lodge itself in the ground in front of you. He used the kunai as a Hirshin point. That's when it all went wrong. Do me a favor. Lift up your shirt. Anko looks at Kakashi for a solid second. Kakashi, no offense Anko, trust me. Anko waits a second before nodding and raising her shirt. On her stomach to the left of her navel is a purple bruise, showing off every knuckle of Naruto's left hand. In the middle of the bruise they both watch as a seal fades away. What the hell? Kakashi smirks as his theory is confirmed. He marked you. Minato-sensei did the same thing in fights. If you would have kept fighting he would have made your day a nightmare. Looks like he set the seal on a timer and it destroyed itself. Across the village Naruto races through a training ground and he spots the cliff of training ground 33 in the distance. Once near the cliff edge he spots the same examiner from before. Naruto walks up to her, she taps her clipboard before looking up at him. Hello Uzumaki-san. Welcome to the staging grounds of the next exam. Espionage and stealth. The examiner hands Naruto a small square folded note. The rules are simple, there are 4 more of these notes, each one gives the location of the next. Each note is guarded differently, one may be on a pedestal or in someone's pocket. You must retrieve all of them without being detected. You may not harm the opposing force in any way, nor may you be spotted once. The do either is to fail the exam, non-combat jutsu are allowed and encouraged. Good luck Uzumaki-san. Naruto unfolds the note. Bottom of the cliff, where the valley meets the river. Naruto takes a moment to think before nodding to himself. He folds the note up and walks over the edge of the cliff. The first note was a cakewalk. Once finding the location the note was positioned on a stump, with uniformed shinobi patrolling in semi-complex patterns. Once Naruto found the window of opportunity it was as simple as executing his plan. The second note was a little harder. The note was on a random shinobi within an encampment. Naruto had to spy on them for an hour to determine the note was actually being exchanged periodically. Then it was as simple as waiting for a shinobi who liked being alone to get the note. Now the third note is when things got interesting. Naruto arrived on the location of the third note. He stays hidden in a tree line and observes. The note is positioned on a pedestal in the center of the clearing, guarded by 2 uniformed Anbu agents. Naruto silently curses. How's a regular jounin supposed to pull this off? This seems more like specialized training. Naruto waits in the tree line for several minutes. Another group of 3 Anbu come into the clearing from the opposing tree line and relieve the duo from duty. Naruto watches the duo walk back where the trio came from. I gotta circle the clearing and see if anyone else is observing, then I gotta find out where they're coming from. They're really making me work for this. As Naruto takes his time circling the clearing looking for any signs of an observer. When he finds none he waits for another group to relieve the trio of Anbu. He has to wait 30 minutes for another trio of agents to enter the clearing. Naruto follows the group back to a small camp where there are a total of 3 other agents waiting. The odd number, so far it's been a duo, followed by 2 trios. Does that mean next it's going to be a single agent? Naruto makes his way back to the tree line and places a Hirshin seal in a tree. If I'm going to pull this off I'm gonna have to distract him, grab the note, flash out, and flee. Naruto makes the cross seal and whispers out the name of the jutsu. Shadow clone jutsu. A single clone poofs into existence. Circle around. When the next patrol gets into position wait 10 minutes, then uproot a couple trees before dispelling yourself. The clone salutes before taking off. Naruto sighs in relief when only a single agent relieves the group. He patiently waits. Within minutes a loud explosion sends trees flying on the other side of the clearing. The agent in the clearing takes off in that direction. Just as he enters the tree line Naruto nabs the note and Hirshins away. Once in the tree line again he takes off further away from the clearing, not risking them searching the area and finding him while he reads. Half a mile east, cliff, within a vault is your prize. Naruto nods and he spots another line lower. Konoha has 76 active jounin. Why is this here? A fluke? No, there are no flukes in this exam. I'll probably need this info later. Naruto folds the note up and puts it in his pocket. Time to ace this exam. Holy hell, the cliff has a bunker built onto it with multiple open windows and a single door. Naruto can spot multiple uniformed shinobi and Anbu agents out front and hiding on the cliffside. The sun's behind him as it starts to set. They're blinded by the sun, but still. I really wish I was decent at Jinjutsu. Shadow clone jutsu. 10 clones appear behind him and he whispers out his intent, "I want every shinobi in a mile's radius to think a war has broke out. Destroy the landscape, make enough noise to wake the dead, then run away and do it again in a different area, afterwards if you still have chakra poof yourself." The clones take off to complete their task. Susanoo-sama, watch over me. It doesn't take long for the sound of chaos to reach his ear. Naruto smiles. It really does sound like a war zone. Naruto watches as the shinobi scramble for a moment before they all report to what looks like their leader. The leader seems to hesitate to give orders, but within moments he leads the gathered shinobi to the sound of battle. Naruto waits several minutes after they disappear in the foliage before he bolts for the bunker. Naruto dives into one of the windows, and once inside he finds a dark shadow to hide in. He waits and listens. When no one comes running, he sighs in relief. Okay, gotta hurry up and find that safe. Exiting the room he finds a long very bland hallway. This eerily reminds me of one of Orochimaru's hideouts. Fan-fucking-tastic. By the time Naruto finds the vault door he can hear the sound of the shinobi returning. Don't have time to figure out how to open it, just gotta force it. Naruto forms a Rasengan in his hand and grinds it into the vault door's lock. Within seconds it snaps under the pressure. Naruto slings the door open and lunges for the piece of paper on the pedestal in the center of the room. He quickly opens it. You pass lower. It reads, "There is a secret entrance into Konoha and the sewage system." Naruto raises an eyebrow. "Hello Uzumaki-san." Naruto raises his eyes and spots his examiner with her clipboard. She clicks her pin twice and looks up at him. "Next exam." Naruto feels a hand tap the back of his neck followed by a prick. His vision blurs as shit. He collapses. Naruto slowly regains his awareness. The first thing he feels, or lacks feeling, is his chakra seal, a chakra seal and a chakra control dampener. Damn, a professional then. Naruto takes in his surroundings slowly. He's in a damp stone room. He's in a metal chair with his wrist tied to the armrest. There's a single light above him and a table in front of him. To his right is a large mirror. I was captured. But how, by who? This is an interrogation room. Oh, this is gonna suck. Wait, what was I doing last? Naruto looks down and finally takes notice of his attire, or rather the lack of attire. He's dressed in a pair of boxers and a white t-shirt. I was taking an exam. Is this a test? I'll find out. If I come to the conclusion it's not, oh hell hath no fury like Satsuna Uchiha when I'm missing without a viable excuse. On the other side of the mirror Ibiki, Anko, and the examiner watch. Anko glances at Ibiki. Are we sure about this? I mean, what if he can't handle it and loses control to the Kyuubi? Ibiki looks into the chambers. Hokage-sama gave me her word. That's impossible. This is our orders, Anko. We're here to observe. He should be starting soon. The door across from Naruto opens and slowly a man steps in. He's wearing a long-sleeve white button-up dress shirt and jeans. He has short blonde hair and light hazel eyes. Hello. Naruto observes the man as he closes the door and slowly makes his way toward him before taking a seat across from him. The man smiles at him. People call me Mr. Happy. What's your name, young man? Naruto continues to stare at him blankly. Interrogation survival dictates I should give away small bits of useless information and bide time for my allies to rescue me. But, screw that. As far as this douchebag's concerned I don't have a tongue. Happy nods. Silent type. Huh, that's not good, young man. The ramblers last longer than the completely silent. Listen, we know you're from Konoha. You just give us some information and we'll let you go. Come on, being bagged and dragged isn't that bad for the cooperative. I'm gonna give you some time to think. Enjoy your time of peace. Happy takes his time getting up and leaving, giving the impression he has all the time in the world. Naruto isn't sure how much time passes. But when that door opens he's happy for any form of distraction. His interrogator takes a seat across from him. You've had time to think, young man. I want to answer, now. Naruto lets the silence stretch without changing his facial expression. Happy sighs. Very well. Happy stands up and rolls up his sleeves. He slowly pulls out a pair of black leather gloves and slips them on. You know, I'm very good at what I do. I'm gonna make you talk. Everyone talks. Happy walks around the table and jerks the chair around, so Naruto's back is to the table. What is your name? Silence. Happy backhands Naruto. He locks his jaw. Naruto looks up with a raised eyebrow. What is your rank? Silence. Happy punches Naruto across the cheek, leaving behind a nasty bruise. Naruto spits out a little blood before looking back up at his interrogator. Happy's mouth forms a thin line, and he punches Naruto again before taking a step back. Okay kid, we're gonna find some leverage on you, and I'm going to make you talk, I promise. Happy spins Naruto's chair back around and storms out of the room. An hour passes before that door opens again, but it isn't his interrogator this time. It's a young girl. She's dressed in rags, and she has dirt spots on her skin. Her brown hair is dirty and wild. She walks in holding a tray. She closes the door and takes slow steps toward Naruto. She puts the tray on the table. On the tray is a bowl of stew, a glass of water and a wet towel. Hello Mr. M, my name's Nimu P, please don't bite me. Nimu slowly reaches down and grabs the spoon. She shakily dips it in the stew and brings it up to Naruto's mouth. Naruto keeps his mouth closed. Nimu's lower lip quivers. See comment, it's not poison. Mr. Happy's G gonna be mad if why you don't eat, add me. Naruto's eyes soften. I can't tell if her fear is real or not. I can't doom her to whatever fate awaits her if she can't get me to eat. Ibiki laughs. He's falling for the ole kind and scared attendant trick. Poor boy's got a heart of gold. Now to see if he falls for her games. Nimu uses the towel to wipe blood from Naruto's face and lightly cleans his bruise. It's easier if you just give Mr. Happy a little info he's n nicer t that way. Naruto sighs and looks at his attendant. She's being used to get to me. Or she's willingly working with him. Which is it? A broken minder and genius tactician at gathering information from bleeding hearts. Naruto silently hums in thoughts and observes Nimu. Naruto silently sighs, I can't risk it. Sorry Nimu, if this ends up being a test you're damn good at what you do, if it's not, I'll bring you along when I break out of here. Nimu tries a little longer to get Naruto to talk to her before she eventually gives up and leaves with the tray. The door slams open and Happy strolls in with a grin and a file in his hand. He slams his hand on the table. I'll give it to you Naruto Uzumaki, my spies had to work hard to get information on you. Let's see. Happy flips the file open. 3 years ago you fraud in a Chunin exam. Reports say you fraud a Biju. You disappeared with Jiraiya of the Sannin afterwards and didn't return until a few days ago. Happy throws the file down and slams his hands on the table again. That's not all Uzumaki. My spies found 2 ladies out alone looking for you. A redhead and a dark-haired girl. Spies say they returned with you. This is your last chance. Talk, or I'll be asking them, and I promise you I won't be nearly as gentle with them. You're a high-priority prisoner with valuable information, not to mention you're close to the Hokage, which makes you good leverage over her. But those girls, they don't have that. I can do whatever I want to them. Last chance Uzumaki. Talk. Naruto takes a deep breath and narrows his eyes at Happy. The man smiles, a cruel and malicious smile. Okay. Happy grabs the file and storms out, slamming the door behind him. Kurenai enters the observation room and spots Ibiki, Anko, and the examiner. Ibiki turns toward her. Good, we need you Kurenai. Anko, get her ready. Anko tears her eyes away from the interrogation chamber toward her friend. Got it. An hour passes before Anko and Kurenai return. Kurenai looks at Ibiki worriedly. Are you sure about this? This could end very badly. There's no way he's going to be able to tell. Ibiki nods, keeping his eyes on Naruto. This is the last test. If he can keep his composure he passes, if he loses it Inoichi can fix him. Kurenai sighs. Fine. I'm ready. Naruto levels his eyes on the door as it's pushed open roughly. Someone is shoved through the threshold. Naruto's eyes widen. She has a broken nose, a black eye and her hair is in disarray, but it's her, Setsuna. Naruto watches Happy walk in behind her, her hands are bound in front of her. Mr. Happy has a long serrated knife in his hand. Last chance Uzumaki, talk. Or she dies. Kurama. Naruto feels his tailed beast waking up. Destroy the seals. On a kid Naruto closes his eyes and lets out a long sigh. When his eyes open they're blood red and slitted. If you touch her I'll make you forget what it's like living without pain. I'll pump you full of ketamine, I'll rip off your finger, then your toes. I'll cut off your limbs and cauterize the wounds, I'll shove a knife in every hole you have. I'll find your parents and make you watch as I kill them, I'll do it slowly and make sure they know it's your fault. Then lastly I'll leave you here, locked in this dark room until you starve to death. Naruto turns his eyes from Happy to the mirror. He's so emotional he never noticed Setsuna shimmer away into nothing. Naruto rips his arms free from his bonds and stands up. Happy drops the knife and backs up against the wall. Naruto. And my name is Kilo Yamanaka. Naruto walks up to him. My threat stands. Naruto walks up to the door and jerks it off its hinges. Walking through he looks right down the hallway and spots Kurenai sitting against a wall hyperventilating. Anko is beside her with her hand on her shoulder. Looking closer Naruto can't see Kurenai's got tears streaming down her face and she's shivering. Kid, it wasn't real Jinjutsu, a high-level area-wide Jinjutsu. Naruto sighs, letting Kurama's chakra leave his system. Naruto walks toward them and glances toward the open door. He spots Ibiki, he's starring a kilo. Naruto's examiner looks at him. Good job Uzumaki-san. Naruto turns away from her and makes his way toward Kurenai and Anko. Kurenai spots him out of the corner of her eye. I'm sorry Naruto. Naruto sighs and walks past them. You just did your job. Naruto walks past the ladies and keeps walking until he finds his way out of the T&I department. Once outside he looks up and sees the sun's close to setting. Naruto nods and keeps walking. Ibiki walks out of the observation chamber. Kurenai looks up at him. I told you it was a bad idea. Ibiki raises an eyebrow. He regained control once he realized it wasn't real. Kilo might need some time off, but other than that everything went well. Went well. Ibiki. Did you see his eyes? Did you see the way he talked? The conviction. He was prepared to deliver on his threat then and there. What even is ketamine? Ibiki smiles, there's a question he can answer, a drug. It keeps you from moving while also heightening the sensitivity of pain receptors. It's damn effective. Kurenai shivers for a second, I thought he was talking to me, he looked right at me through the mirror. Anko squeezes Kurenai's shoulder, you're just in shock, Nai-chan. You need to calm down. Come on, let me take you home. Kurenai nods numbly, yeah, that's probably for the best. Ibiki watches Anko help Kurenai up before he clears his throat. Anko looks back at him. Uzumaki's in a state of hypersensitive shock, he's likely going to isolate himself to think. Anko, find the Uchiha and let her know she needs to find him before anyone else. Anko nods and walks away with Kurenai. Ibiki hears a pin click, he turns and sees the examiner slipping on her mask. Well, Commander Karasu, did the kid pass? Satsuna looks up and sees the moon just beginning its rise into the sky. She lowers her eyes on the Hokage monument, more importantly on Naruto, who's sitting on the fourth's head. Naruto's eyes are half closed, his eyes have a redness from crying. He looks out across the lit-up village. Naruto-sama. Naruto looks up. Satsuna-chan. He turns around and she's there. Satsuna has her hands clasped in front of herself. She tilts her head. Are you okay, Naruto-sama? Naruto shakily gets to his feet and stumbles forward. Naruto wraps Satsuna in a hug, his chin atop her head. I thought I was going to lose you. I couldn't think about anything but revenge. I was just so angry. But then I realized it wasn't real, and I still had a chance. I still have a chance. Naruto shudders as tears form in his eyes. Satsuna reaches up and wipes away his tears. Naruto looks down at her, and her charcoal eyes seem to shimmer. I love you, Naruto-sama. Naruto smiles. I love you too, Suna-chan. In the blink of an eye, Satsuna leaned up on her tippy toes. Naruto meets her halfway, their lips lock in a kiss. Naruto opens his eyes. Where am I? Naruto thinks, a kiss, no more than a kiss, a confession of love. So I actually did it. Did we? Last night? No, afterwards I was exhausted and Satsuna-chan helped me get home. Naruto rolls onto his feet out of bed. Okay, need to get ready. Naruto walks out of his room dressed and ready for the day. He walks into the kitchen to find Satsuna humming a happy tune. Good morning, Satsuna-chan. She looks over her shoulder. Good morning, Naruto-sama. Somebody came by and left something for you. I placed it on the edge of the couch. Oh. Naruto turns and looks toward his couch from the kitchen. He spots the black vest. He raises an eyebrow and walks up and picks up the vest. Weird, I thought Jounin vest all came in green. Naruto feels the ballistic fabric, he runs his fingers over the edges and can feel the metal plates inside some spots. Naruto nods and slips the vest on and zips it up, a note falls out of it. Naruto hears it hit the ground and he glances at it. Naruto bends down and opens it. Like it? The black's my touch. I didn't think you would like green, and more orange would have been just too much. Get to my office after you eat breakfast, brat. Naruto chuckles and puts the note in his pocket. Thanks, Ba-chan. Hey, Suna-chan. I'll finish making breakfast. Go ahead and get ready. Naruto walks out of his apartment, Satsuna following. He looks over his shoulder. You know, if I didn't know better I'd say you're copying my style. Satsuna looks over herself. She's wearing black baggy sweatpants and an orange jacket similar to Naruto's, complete with the Uzumaki seal on the back. She shrugs. I like orange, Naruto-sama. It's unique, like you. Naruto smiles. Come on, walk beside me, not behind me. If we're gonna make this work, you're gonna have to tone down the slave thing, Suna-chan. Satsuna walks up beside Naruto and intertwines her arms with Naruto's right arm. I probably should have asked permission first. Naruto leans down and kisses her forehead. Nah. Come on, let's go. On their way to the tower they spot Ino and Shino. Ino being one for dramatic flair shoves Shino's arm. I knew it. Naruto waves, Shino nods and beckons Ino to follow him if she wants a training partner. Knock knock. Come in. Tsunade leans back in her chair. Naruto and Satsuna make their way into her office, closing the door behind themselves. Good morning, Ba-chan. You were right, thanks for the color change. Tsunade nods with a smile. She reaches into a drawer of her desk and pulls out a file. She tosses it to Naruto. Read that, brat. Naruto grabs the file, opens it and lowers it so Satsuna can read too. Naruto Uzumaki, the Jutsu S rank, Ninjutsu S rank, Ninjutsu D rank, Sealing S rank, Cracking A rank, Stealth A rank, Antero Defense S rank. Personal notes. Uzumaki shows an unusual charisma, along with a multitude of skills for a variety of situations. He's adaptive and clever. He's unlikely to betray Konoha as long as we don't betray him. Uzumaki has shown himself to be very emotionally, which in itself isn't inherently a good or bad thing. His emotions add to his charisma. He's shown a mental weakness for those who appear to be in rough situations. Uzumaki has shown he has complete control over the Kyuubi's chakra, to the point he easily overpowered 2 A-rank seals, while his own chakra was cut off from him. Uzumaki retained his control despite flooding his chakra pathways with Biju chakra. Uzumaki's killing intent is something to behold. Hilo Yamanaka was in need of emergency therapy and has been given leave from his duties until he recovers. The killing intent Naruto generated was potent enough to mentally traumatize the man. Kurana Yuhi is currently being monitored in case she herself needs therapy. She came in indirect contact with Naruto's killing intent and reacted badly. Personal recommendation. I wish I could take him into Anbu. He could replace me in 3 years tops. But, I've been doing this long enough to know he will better serve Konoha in the light, not the dark. I, Karasu, recommend Naruto Uzumaki be given the title of Elite Jounin. Naruto looks up from the file waiting for Tsunade to say something. Naruto, we didn't give you the regular Jounin exam, we gave you the Anbu Captain qualifiers, adapted of course. Naruto's eyebrows raise. Anbu Captain. Tsunade nods. I hope you understand what it means to be Elite Jounin. Naruto frowns. I didn't pay much attention in the academy. Tsunade nods with a chuckle. I figured. There are 3 levels of Jounin. Special Jounin. Someone with a specific skill that makes them Jounin level, but they need to catch up the rest of their skills. Regular Jounin. All around good shinobi. Elite Jounin. Exceptional shinobi with several elite skills who can handle a variety of situations. Naruto, there are only 2 other active elite Jounins in the village besides yourself. Kakashi and Guy. Naruto closes the file. Wow. Congratulations, Naruto-sama. Naruto smiles brightly. Thanks Una-chan, this is great. One step closer to Hokage. Tsunade shakes her head. Keep proving yourself and you just might beat your old man as the youngest Hokage ever. We'll see. Naruto, now that you're a Jounin, I'm installing you as the clan head of the Uzumaki clan. Your mother held the title last. With the title you now own all of the Uzumaki clan's assets, which include their properties, stocks, and weaponry. Perrin is currently your only clan member in Konoha and well, you can make Setsuna honorary member. You won't have a lot of paperwork, but while you're in the village you are expected to attend council meetings, you will be given a clan vote and your opinion now matters on important subjects. Of course while you're away you can appoint a stand-in. Naruto listens to Tsunade, slowly absorbing the information. Okay, got it. Naruto turns towards Setsuna. You can handle the properties and stocks, if you don't want to mess with it just sell. When I'm not in the village you'll be my stand-in, I expect you to represent my clan's interest with diligence. Of course Naruto-sama. Naruto nods. Good. Now then. What's this mission you were talking about? Tsunade reaches into her desk pulling out a mission file. This is a A-rank diplomatic mission. Takigakure has asked us to send an emissary. Officially you will be representing Konoha's interest while Takigakure works out a trade deal with Onigakure. Unofficially, Naruto Taki mainly wants you there to showcase their alliance with us, muscle so to speak. Naruto, while you're there I want you to make a good impression with Onigakure. I understand you met their country's priestess, Shion. Your relationship with her makes you our best emissary. Help out the locals, be nice, but also be on the lookout for Shibuki and whomever he decides to bring. This file says pretty much the same thing but feel free to look over it. Shibuki sent someone to retrieve our choice emissary, she arrived 2 days ago. You'll be meeting her at the gate in an hour. Naruto takes the file and flips it open. Skimming over it sounds simple enough. I didn't think Oni no Kuni had a hidden village, learn something new every day. I juice. How did Sakura, Tenten, and Lee do by the way? Tsunade leans forward on her desk. All 3 qualified for special Jounin status. So you outrank them Naruto. Well, you outrank most of Konoha. I can already hear the complaints of favoritism. I'll just have to show them a copy of that file there. That was the Anbu commander that wrote it by the way. Naruto chuckles. Figures, that chick gave me a vibe. Her face was just too forgettable. Probably a simple jutsu to hide distinguishable features. Something like that. Okay, I'm gonna get ready. Come on Setsuna-chan. Wait. Naruto here. Tsunade tosses Naruto a flip-open wallet. He flips it open and there's an ID card with his ninja registration number, his picture and his new rank. If anyone hassles you about your rank, those credentials will silence them. Naruto nods before putting the wallet into a pocket of his vest. Where are we going Naruto-sama? Naruto glances down at Setsuna. I've gotta check something, if I don't it's gonna bother me until I get back. Setsuna turns her head away from Naruto as they walk up to the entrance of the T&I department. The iron door built into a cliff is closed, next to it is an office behind glass. Sitting in the office is a shinobi wearing a Chunin vest. Naruto glances at the Chunin. Open the door. I need to see someone. The Chunin looks at Naruto and his modified Jounin vest and nods. Hold on, I'll buzz you in. A loud buzzing sound comes from the door followed by a click. Naruto reaches forward and the door opens without an issue. Inside is a large room with couches, a vending machine, and several tables. Several shinobi are standing around or sitting. Ibiki spots the duo and extracts himself from his colleagues to speak with Naruto. I wish I could say I didn't expect to see you Uzumaki. But I'm too good at reading people for that. By my juice you're here for, Nimmu or Kilo. Naruto nods. Nimmu, I gotta know. Ibiki smirks, come on. Ibiki leads Naruto across the room to a specific set of couches. Sitting by herself is a teenager with straight brown hair and sharp brown eyes. Hey kid. Naruto here fell for your good looks. The teenager turns toward Ibiki then Naruto. She stands with a predatory smirk. I heard what you did to Kilo, Ibiki said. He pissed himself. Naruto stares at the teen in front of him trying to connect her to the girl from his interrogation. Finally it clicks. It was a Genjutsu. Nimu snorts and damn good acting if I say so myself. Wanna know my secret? I used to look and act like that. When Biki Nai found me I was mute, scared and alone. He brought me back to Konoha. After a while I went from mute and terrified to a stuttering mess who would only talk to Ibiki. It took a while, but I eventually opened up and now I'm the beautiful confident lass before you. Nice to meet you Naruto Uzumaki. Ankoni has a lot of nice things to say about you. Naruto's silent for several seconds before he nods to her in a show of respect. You had me wrapped around your finger you know. I would have never juiced. It was nice to meet you Nimu-san-chan dear, Chan or nothing fine, Nimu-chan, but I have a urgent mission. Perhaps you and Satsuna-chan here can get along. I wouldn't mind being your friend. Nimu raises an eyebrow at Naruto and his so far silent raven-haired companion. You wanna be friends? Sure why not? Not like I've made many in my line of work am I right? Heh. Saya. Naruto and Satsuna briskly make their way across the village. You're being quiet Suna-chan. Oh, I'm just trying to decide if I like that girl or not. She's flirty, she wants you. Naruto chuckles. Yeah well, she's not gonna get me. Satsuna-chan, I finally confess to you. I'm not about to run away with another girl, I'm yours. Satsuna snuggles into Naruto's arm, and I'm yours Naruto-sama. I'll give her a chance. You wanna be her friend, so I'll be her friend. Naruto caresses her hand. I'm not gonna ask you to be friends with anyone you don't like, just treat her like you would anyone else. You saw she was alone in there. I did a quick once over and she's the youngest in there, probably only 14 or 15, she needs friends Satsuna-chan. Satsuna nods seeing Naruto's point. As they approach the gate they both spot the tan girl waiting. Naruto notices her mint hair and pink eyes. That's probably her. Naruto stops and spins around so Satsuna's in front of him. He cups her face in both of his hand. I don't know how long this'll take. I apologize for any council meeting bullshit you'll have to endure. Satsuna lunges up and catches Naruto's lips in her own. They hold a kiss for several seconds before Satsuna pulls back. I love you too. Come back to me in one piece. Always Suna-chan. I would say be safe, but I fear more for whomever crosses you more than you Naruto-sama. Naruto's chuckles. Well, I am dangerous. But not invincible. Close enough Naruto-sama. I need to go I know. I need to go also or I fear I won't be able to let you go. Naruto chuckles again. Remember the seal, if you need me, don't hesitate. I won't see you later Naruto finally pulls back, his hand lingers in Satsuna's before he finally pulls away and approaches the mint-haired teenager. Excuse me. View of Taki. View looks Naruto over. You're the emissary. Yes. Elite Jounin Naruto Uzumaki at your service. View looks at Naruto in surprise. Elite Jounin. Kami your village really is taking this serious. Naruto smiles disarmingly. Of course, Konoha values our Taki alliance, we want your village to prosper just as much as our own. View snorts. Like our village will ever be on the same level as the Great Five. There's a reason us minor villages stay minor villages. But you're not here to discuss Taki's inner working and the problems my village has, you're here to help us get a trade alliance. Let's get moving. If we travel hard we can reach Taki by lunchtime and we can leave for Inagakure early tomorrow. Naruto lays his hand out. Led the way. Fu rolls her eyes. Come on Naruto chuckles. Interesting. Kurama what do you think? Kurama yawns loudly. I can definitely sense Jame in her. Satsuna makes her way through the abandoned streets of the Uchiha district. This place really is depressing. Slowly, she walks up the steps to the house she knows Itachi's staying at. She knocks on the doorframe lightly. A minute passes before the sliding door opens. Itachi looks at Satsuna with tired yet alert eyes. May I enter cousin? Itachi nods. Yeah. Itachi steps out of the way allowing Satsuna to enter his home. She makes her way into his living room and sits on a couch. After a moment Itachi follows. Want anything to drink? No thank you. Sit, let's chat. Itachi nods and takes a seat across from Satsuna. Tsunade's been treating you. How's the treatment going? I'm getting better. Tsunade tells me I need to stay in a dry environment until she's completely healed me. She's also working on a way to counteract the Mangekyo Sharingan's blindness effect. She may be able to fix my eyesight. Satsuna crosses her arms and smiles. I'm happy for you cousin. I couldn't imagine not being able to use my eyes without slowly going blind. Do you know when she plans to reveal the truth? She wants to wait till I'm healed so I can make public appearances. She thinks I'm going to be hero worshipped. I think she may be right. I plan to retire as a shinobi. I'm done with the life of violence. Satsuna nods. It's not for everyone. What do you plan to do in your free time? Itachi smiles and holds up a finger. He stands and hurriedly walks out of the room. After a moment he walks back in with a stack of papers. He places it on the table and sits back down. I want to be a writer. I'm working on my first book. Care to tell me what you think? Satsuna reaches down and reads the title The Prince of Peace. A fantasy novel, it'll be my pleasure, cousin. The trip to Taki was mostly spent in silence. Fuwu does a valiant job of ignoring Naruto completely until they reach the waterfalls Taki is famous for. Naruto takes his time looking at the cliff wall and the several waterfalls beautiful. Fuwu walks up beside him and admires the view alongside him. The beauty of this place is one of the few things I like about my village. Naruto turns his eyes from the waterfalls to Fuwu. You've had a hard life, haven't you? Fuwu snaps out of her reverie. Come on. Fuwu sets a fast pace. Eventually the duo come upon two shinobi wearing blue and green uniforms. Both of them are standing in front of a waterfall. Both men glare at Fuwu. You actually came back, too bad. Naruto narrows his eyes. Must all Jinchuriki be hated in their homes? Fuwu ignores both of the shinobi, so Naruto takes the initiative. I'm an emissary from Konoha, Shibuki is expecting us. Both men focus on Naruto. Eventually one of them sighs. Ijusa emissary is a valid reason to allow the thing back in our village. Naruto doesn't bother hiding his glare, just like the two ninja don't bother addressing it. Instead they both turn and go through a set of hand seals. After a second the waterfall splits. Fuwu quickly walks through and Naruto follows. Past the waterfall Naruto realizes they're in a very narrow crack through the cliff. Naruto focuses back on his fellow demon container. People like them will never understand us, they never bother to try. Fuwu stops walking abruptly and jerks around. Her intense pink eyes stare down Naruto. Us. Naruto does his best to smile under her scrutiny. Yeah, us. Chimei didn't tell you. Fuwu stares at Naruto for a solid second. She barely ever talks to me. She just now found it relevant to tell me you hold the 9 tails. Kurama. Naruto nods. Yeah. Fuwu spins around and starts up her pace again. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Come on, let's go see Shibuki, then I can go home and get away from all these people. To Naruto it sounded like that statement was more to herself than him. Does she not trust me? No, of course not. Being another Jinchuriki doesn't automatically mean we're friends. A lifetime of being hated and scorned, just like Gaara and me and B and Yujito. Naruto quickly banishes his bad memories as they both exit the cliff. And the view is breathtaking. Takigakure is a village built into a circular valley surrounded by its natural defense, cliff faces so high they reach the clouds. Just past the cliffs is a forest, and then the village itself, and in the middle of the village is a titanic tree reaching much higher than the rest in the valley. Naruto's step falters for a second. Wow. Fuwu sets a fast pace going into the village. Naruto does his best to look around while keeping up with her. He quickly noticed the hateful looks directed at Fuwu, and that a lot of shops have a sign, which has a bug with an X through it. They ban her from their stores. Naruto huffs in anger. Having seen enough, he focuses back on his guide and follows her through the village to a tower beside the huge tree. Fuwu storms into the tower, past a receptionist, up the stairs and into an office. A young man with black hair and green eyes jerks when his door slams open. He watches Fuwu storm in and stop in front of his desk. Naruto follows and shuts the door. I brought him. Shibuki looks from Fuwu to Naruto. Can I go? Shibuki focuses back on her. Yes. Fuwu doesn't waste time storming out of the office. Shibuki stands from his chair with a sigh. Sorry about her. She gets agitated easily. Not much of a people person, you understand. Naruto stares in the young minor cage for a solid second. No, I don't understand a village leader letting his populace hate someone for a choice she had nothing to do with. Sorry, I can never understand that. Shibuki glances away from Naruto out of his window to the populace below. So you know. She's not your concern, shinobi. I've set you up in the hotel beside the tower. I have some paperwork to get ready and a letter to send, so Diaza Dono knows I'm coming. Come back here tomorrow at 8 ready to leave. Dismissed. Naruto stares at the cage, finding his choice of dealing with a nosy emissary amusing. Let me lay something out for you, Shibuki. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, head of the Uzumaki clan. One word from me and Konoha will rip up our alliance papers, leaving you without protection and trade. Naruto approached Shibuki's desk, laying his hands on it. You won't be ordering me around. And you damn well won't blackball me away from my Jinchuriki sibling. In a second Shibuki lost most of his tan. Of course. Anything I can do for you, Uzumaki Dono? Naruto smiles. From atop one of the sheer cliffs, two figures look down at the village. What's it like being home after all this time? A rough grunt is the other man's reply. Shut up, or I'll kill you. Like you could, cocksucker. I swear if I could I'd sacrifice all 5 of your fucking hearts to Jashin-sama. Bikazu sighs, ignoring Haiden's rant. Be quiet, you loud idiot. It's bad enough we had to let a bounty go to come here for Leader Sama. He's been real strict since Itachi and Kisame disappeared. Haiden scratches his head. Yeah, what do you think happened, Tom? Bikazu shrugs. It's only been 2 days. Zetsu will find out. Haiden shrugs also. Yeah, well fuck 'em. As long as I get to slaughter people I could give a rat's ass about the rest of you. Kakazu grunts. That's why between us I'm the one who plans. Speaking of, our plan is simple. According to Zetsu's report, the Jinchuriki is going to be leaving with Taki's cage tomorrow, along with an emissary from Konoha. We'll observe from a distance and when the time's optimal we take her. Maybe Shibuki too, I could find a decent buyer for his head in the black market. Naruto looks up at the giant tree from its base. I can't believe they make her live up there well. I juice it's better than having to worry about a civilian throwing a Molotov through your window. Naruto sighs and places one foot on the trunk. Time to get to know his sibling. The walk up the tree was long, once up in the foliage where nothing can be seen from below. Well, that's not very neighborly. Naruto smiles at his own joke before speaking up. I just want to talk. Naruto hears a few muffled curses from inside and suddenly the door slings open and Fu shoves herself in the doorway. What do you want? Well, I want to talk, maybe hang out, you know, we're both Jinchurikis, we have a lot in common. Listen, I know those people down below have given you a bad impression on what humanity should act like, but I'm not like them, and not everyone will treat you like that. It's just the ignorant and blind. Fu stares at Naruto. I've heard a lot of honeyed words over the years, blonde. And I've fallen for those tricks before. This is my life, how it's always gonna be. Taki owns me and nothing can change that. I refuse to talk about how good it could be, because at the end of the day it's always going to be the same here. I don't care if you're like me. Unless you can prove your sincerity with more than words you can leave. And before you say anything else I don't want to hear it. I just want to be left alone, I have to prepare for our trip tomorrow. Fu slams her door shut, leaving Naruto staring at the spot she just was. Somebody hurt her bad, she's right, I can't reach her, not with words. But how can I prove I'm not trying to trick her? Naruto walks away from her door with a sigh. There's gotta be a way. I refuse to let her stay miserable thinking she's alone in a miserable world. The next day comes fast. Naruto makes his way into Shibuki's office where the Cage and Fu are waiting for him. Naruto nods to them both good morning. Fu looks out of the window while Shibuki grabs a stack of papers. Shibuki walks behind Fu and places the papers in her backpack. Afterwards he walks in front of his desk. Okay, we're ready to go. Let's not waste time, negotiations could take a whole day, I want to reach Inagakure by mid-afternoon. Naruto sighs as they leave the office. This trip's gonna suck. Setsuna sighs contently, she's currently neck deep in a hot spring. Steam rises, wafting through the air. Across from Setsuna is her sister in every way except blood. Karen leans back on the ledge of the hot spring. When's the last time we had a day like this? Setsuna clicks her tongue. I believe it was with Mei-san, 2 days after we claimed Kurigakure, and she was named Mizukage. Karen nods. Sounds right. A few minutes pass in comfortable silence before Setsuna decides to chat more. How are things going for you? I mean, is Konoha treating you well? Karen uses her hand to create a mini tour whirlpool in front of herself and nods. It's been a little awkward, adjusting. I'm getting settled in the R&D department and I'm working out a flexible schedule at the hospital with Shizune-chan. The people I'm gonna be working with seem friendly-ish. It's way different than my time with Orochimaru. Whoa. Fast-moving chakra signature incoming. Setsuna pulls out a kunai that Karen would rather not use. Where she got? They're both naked. In a blur, a purple-haired Anbu agent drops from the wall between the girls. The agent stands atop the water and turns towards Setsuna, who seals her kunai into a seal on her wrist. The seal appears momentarily before fading away. Yugao nods to her invisible storage seal. Impressive. Setsuna nods. Naruto-sama's idea, he is a genius. Setsuna gets the impression Yugao is rolling her eyes behind her mask. Setsuna glares at her. Why are you here, Anbu-san? Hokage-sama has summoned you, she needs you at her office ASAP. Setsuna sighs and looks at Karen with a sorrowful expression. Karen smiles at her. Go, we can hang out whenever. It could be important. Setsuna nods and makes her way out of the hot spring. This better not be a waste of my bloody time. Setsuna adjusts her collar. She's wearing a new burnt orange kimono with a black undershirt. Her sword rested its place on her hip. The kimono has the Uzumaki clan symbol on the back and on the left side of the chest. Need to represent my master's clan respectfully. Setsuna raises her hands and knocks in a rapid 3 taps. Come in. Setsuna enters the Hokage's office to find Tsunade staring out her open window overlooking the village. Tsunade-san, you summoned me? Tsunade grunts. Funny, you address everyone as your equal, except for Naruto, he's the only one you address as a superior. There's something ironically funny there. Never mind that. Tsunade twirls around and looks intently at Setsuna. I'm calling a council meeting within the hour. I called you here to make sure you're ready. Are you ready, Uchiha? Setsuna straightens up her stance. I renounced my Uchiha clan status the moment I swore servitude to Naruto-sama. Tsunade nods. Not everyone will know that. You may have to address a few questions involving yourself and Naruto in the meeting. The civilian council's a curious bunch with no tact. The clan heads won't outright ask you anything of the such, they may question your authority and challenge your clan's power. Be ready to defend the Uzumaki clan. But, that may not happen. I'll be controlling the flow of the meeting and I'll direct as much attention as possible. This meeting's primary purpose is to inform the council of the Mizukage's arrival and possible alliance. I expect you to know Naruto's stance on this possible alliance, and I'll trust you to convey whatever he would want. Setsuna, I'm putting a lot of trust in you, I hope Naruto's right leaving you in charge. Setsuna raises an eyebrow before puffing out her chest. I won't disappoint my master Tsunade-san. I'll complete my duties skillfully and tactfully. Tsunade chuckles confidence or arrogance. Juice I'll find out huh. Tsunade had a few more things to discuss before she dismisses Setsuna. True to her word Setsuna got the memo to report to the council chambers an hour later from a Anbu agent. Setsuna makes her way to the council chambers, which is on the ground floor of the Hokage Tower. Setsuna pushes open the large oak double doors. Entering the council chamber she spots on the left side of the chamber many of the clan heads getting settled or in Shikaku's case napping. On the right side most of the civilian seats aren't filled yet. Directly to the right of the Hokage's seat the three advisors are sitting, Danzo is between Kaharu and Homura. The council room accounts for a risen half-circle desk with the front open and lower on the floor, in case someone is on trial they're lower than the council. Setsuna makes her way to the left and climbs the short stairs. She passes Tsume who cocks her head back upon seeing her. Setsuna doesn't address her, she continues walking past Shibi, Inoichi, Chaoza, Shikaku, she passes the empty Uchiha council seat and sits in the Uzumaki seat, which happens to be directly to the right of Tsunade. As Setsuna gets comfortable she feels several gazes on her, most of which are unconcerning probably just curiosity, but one gaze feels extremely cold. Setsuna sweeps her eyes around and finds her gaze landing on Danzo, said cripple loudly clears his throat Uchiha-san, you're sitting in the wrong seat. His lone dark brown eye shines with a calculating glimmer. Setsuna narrows her eyes and speaks in a clear manner so everyone can hear no I am not. I have renounced my Uchiha clan status long ago, I swore my servitude to Uzumaki Naruto, thus in his absence, I am his stand-in at these meetings. Kaharu snaps her head up towards Setsuna, you claim Naruto is the head of the Uzumaki clan. Preposterous. Setsuna growls under her breath very much not liking Kaharu's shrill voice, Naruto-sama is the head of the Uzumaki clan Kaharu-san. Tsunade interjects before Kaharu can escalate the argument she's right. Naruto was instated as the clan head early yesterday morning. 2 days ago he took the Jounin exams and passed with ease, meeting the requirements he was instated as clan head and informed of the many secrets surrounding his heritage. Setsuna look at Tsunade recognizing the flat-out lie in half of that statement, but she doesn't rebuke her better, they believe the lie than know any truths they aren't worthy of hearing. Setsuna closes her eyes and drowned out any further chatter. Soon she hears a gavel hit a desk, she opens her eyes to see the civilian council has arrived and are seated. This council meeting is now in session. Firstly, I would like to inform the council Mizu no Kuni has ended its civil war, the new Mizukage will be arriving in days to discuss alliance. Danzo is quick to slam his cane on the floor I object Hokage-sama. Kiri is weak, we should take over now before any of the other villages act, we'll gain their resources and land, while eliminating a future threat. Tsunade is shaking her head before Danzo finishes not happening. We the council are here to discuss alliance with Kurigakure, not discuss war. My decision is final. J-san, get your merchants together begin devising new trade routes to include Kurigakure. Bring me the plans as soon as they're complete. Shikaku-san, report to my office at your earliest convenience to assist me with possible plans to include Suna in our alliance and which resources will be best to outsource. Shikaku raises a thumb from his position height Tsunade nods good. Now that matter is finished let's move on to other bussiness. The council meeting lasts well into an hour as a variety of things are discussed. Finally the meeting starts winding down if that is everything hold up Hokage-sama, I believe I speak for everyone when I say we have questions for Uchiha-san. That need to be answered. Setsuna sighs and it begins Tsunade looks at her sorrowfully before turning her eyes back to the civilian councilor very well. Ask your questions, but she holds the right to refuse to answer any question she doesn't want to. The councilor nods hi Hokage-sama the councilor turns his gaze to Setsuna you sit in the Uzumaki's clan seat instead of your clan's. Setsuna sighs and looks at Tsunade, who does her the favor of explaining to the council again Naruto's status as clan head and Setsuna's servitude to him. Many of the civilian councilors don't look happy, in fact they look on the verge of protesting the very idea. Setsuna leans on her hand today's gonna be a long day. The rest of the council meeting proved to be a huge farce which Setsuna had to exercise her impressive emotional control. Tsunade dismisses the council, and many of them are in a hurry to leave and get about their days. Setsuna moves at a much slower pace, preferring not to be caught in the crowd of people, all trying to leave out of the same door. Eventually Setsuna finds herself making her way out of the council chambers, unfortunately Danzo is there waiting for her Uchiha-san, a word. Setsuna glares at the old man with her Sharingan Danzo, I'll make myself clear. I want to kill you. I really want to kill you, but, master doesn't require your death. So I'll tell you this once, stay away from me, keep your stolen Sharingan away from me, keep your agents away from myself and the Uzumaki clan, and you will live. Danzo stares at her impassively you're playing a game you don't understand girl. Setsuna grips her katana. You're threatening somebody who knows all your secrets, and I'm not the only one, so any assassination attempt would be moot and would seal your death. Leave, counselor. Danzo stares at her for several seconds before he slowly turns away from her and walks away. Give me a reason to kill you, asshole. After her encounter with Danzo, Setsuna decided to blow off some steam, so Konoha's very own training ground 39 has to suffer as Setsuna carves up trees, unleashes a myriad of fire jutsu, and some water jutsu. It's only after a portion of the training ground has fully suffered her onslaught, Setsuna addresses her shadow. In a fluid motion, Setsuna flings a handful of kunai high into a tree, several thunks follow. Setsuna looks up and spots the boy she pinned to the tree with her hail of metal. Konohamaru looks a little pale with all the kunai very close to of killing him. Setsuna raises an eyebrow at him. Following and spying on elite shinobi is very ill-advised and very hazardous for one's health, Konohamaru-san. Konohamaru gulps while carefully freeing himself with a kimawari. After trading places with a log, Konohamaru walks out of the trees with a more confident look about him. You were with Naruto Nyaichin. I challenge you. Setsuna raises an eyebrow again at the youth. You, a genin, challenge me, a jounin level shinobi. Konohamaru raises his thumb. Yup. Setsuna sighs. No, I think not. No offense, little Sarutobi, but I know the tricks you possess. Naruto-sama has shared stories with me. If I'm correct, you've probably mastered the clone required Rasengan, which is giving you a confidence boost. The word of advice, master making the Rasengan without a clone, with one hand, and you'll be ready to challenge an opponent of my caliber. The chakra control and split focus required to do so would make him a top-level shinobi with a sharp mind. Konohamaru scratched his head. Ah, come on. You haven't even seen what my Rasengan can do. Setsuna smiles at his antics. No, but I know the theology of the Rasengan, and I know its limitations. Condensing a lot of chakra into the Rasengan would make it very devastating and would destroy a lot of stuff. On the other hand, putting the minimum chakra into it would mean it may leave a dent in the surface. Furthermore, you don't currently have the skill to. Setsuna zones out momentarily before focusing back on Konohamaru. Best not give him the idea to add a chakra nature. It took Naruto-sama a long time to make his usable without self-harm. Anyways, Konohamaru-san, instead of a spar, how about I help you train? You're a fire nature, correct? So am I. Konohamaru grins at the offer. Sure. The Kazu glares at his partner as he finishes one of his rants. We weren't anticipating the Kyuubi Jinchuriki. So we wait for now, that's final. Haiden glares at him before he adopts a thoughtful expression. You know, the Kyuubi was Itachi and Kisam's target. Think it's a coincidence they disappeared, and now the Kyuubi Jinchuriki just so happens to be with our next capture target. The Kazu sighs. You're being paranoid. It's just bad luck. Come on, we need to catch up and wait for our chance. The rainforest of Oni no Kuni are a beautiful sight in their own right. Having seen them extensively before, Naruto pays more attention to the road. Fu, on the other hand, keeps her head on a swivel looking at the unique environment. Shibuki looks a little too winded to properly appreciate the thick forest around. Naruto glances up at the vines above where he knows there's probably at least one thick forest animal roaming about. After a second, his juice is confirmed by a little lemur running across one of the thicker vines. Naruto chuckles before bringing his attention back to his company. Shibuki really looks out of his environment. There's nothing quite like a rainforest's humidity. It doesn't even have to be really warm for a person to break out in a sweat. Fu, who's wearing significantly less clothing, looks to be handling it well. Naruto nods to himself. Listen up, I'm probably gonna be recognized when we get there. If not at first, then soon after we meet the village leader. I'm pretty famous in Oni no Kuni because I helped a priestess of their country banish a demon. You'll be right in juicing I wasn't chosen as an emissary by chance. I'll do whatever I can to help you get this trade deal, Shibuki-san, if you can't convince him yourself. Other than that, your protection is next on the list, so here. Naruto tosses Shibuki a tri-pronged kunai. The village leader panics and fumbles with the weapon before finally gripping it. Shibuki looks at the strange kunai. That kunai has a special seal on it. Channel chakra into the seal, and it sends a pulse of chakra back to me, which signals me. I will then teleport to your aid using the same seal. You may know the technique, Hirishin no Jutsu. Shibuki's eyes widen. The Hirishin. Shibuki looks at Naruto intently for several seconds. I never met the fourth Hokage, but of reports I've read, he had spiky blonde hair. Naruto nods. Minato Namikaze and Kashina Uzumaki were my parents, Shibuki-san. Fu here. Naruto tosses Fu one of his kunai. She catches it with a lot more finesse than Shibuki. She then looks at Naruto strangely. Why are you giving me one? Naruto levels his cerulean eyes on Fu. If Shibuki dies, I fail my mission. If you die, I fail as a brother. Naruto turns from Fu. Fu stares at Naruto for several seconds before putting his kunai in her pouch. Shibuki pays the dual little mind as he's lost in his own thoughts. It isn't too much longer that the trio arrive to Inigakure, a village hidden within a rainforest. Much like Konoha, the village has a wall and a gate, along with two guards. Naruto pays attention to the uniforms, their primary colors being dark brown accented with deep forest green. Shibuki seeing them straightens his stance and puts forth effort to look less miserable in his current sweaty and tired state. Good day. Diaza Dono is expecting us. I am Shibuki, this is my bodyguard Fu and my juiced for these deliberations, Naruto Uzumaki of Konohagakure. The two shinobi look at Shibuki, then Naruto, after a second one of them cocks his head back. The Naruto Uzumaki. Slayer of the great devourer Mavarth. Naruto gives his best roguish smile, the one and only. How's Shunchan been? The men look between each other. One nods to the other before he disappears in a shunshin, the other turns back toward Shibuki. You may enter. Go straight to the center of the village and meet Diaza-sama. Shibuki nods of course. Shibuki leads the way into the village, being the only one to have been there before. Naruto pays attention to his surroundings and quickly sees a theme. Onigakure is a village that was aiming not to harm the environment, trees, vines, bushes, it looks like all the buildings were built around or in these areas. It's safe to say Onigakure is a very unique village. At the center of the village is a big buildings, not exactly a tower, more of a oval-shaped building that takes up more space than the other buildings. Shibuki leads them inside. Security in the building is heavy, shinobi guarding every doorway, each door required to be unlocked by a guard. The building screams one word, paranoid. It takes several minutes to reach the room of the village leader. Diaza is sitting behind a desk much like most respectable cages. Shibuki nods to his fellow cage Diaza Dono. I hope you've been well. Diaza is a rotund man, like Akamichi he has a very pudgy face. The man nods to Shibuki, but his eyes are drawn to Naruto. Yes Shibuki Dono. And you. Please, allow my shinobi to take you to a hotel so you may rest. We can discuss this deal later today and you may be on your way home tomorrow. Shibuki bows his head. Much thanks Diaza Dono. Shibuki turns toward the door and Fu and Naruto turn to follow. One moment Uzumaki-san. Naruto turns toward the village leader while the others leave. Once the door closes Diaza sits up. I've heard a lot of great things about you Uzumaki-san, helping a princess liberate her country, saving a nobleman from assassins, helping my own country's priestess banish a very dangerous demon. You sir are the type of man I was taught to be weary of and to make allies of when possible. So tell me Uzumaki-san, what will it take for Onigakure and Konohagakure to be good friends? Naruto smiles at the rotund man. This really is too easy. Later into the day close to sunset Naruto meets Shibuki and Fu at their hotel. Shibuki has just come back from discussing with Diaza. He sighs in exasperation, he's being very difficult but not unruly. We are staying the night and we will start negotiations again tomorrow. Both of you rest. Tomorrow, Naruto you will be with me. Fu, you will have the time off, we should be done and leaving by midday tomorrow, be at the gate on time. This place really is a hellhole when it comes to the heat and kami-forsaken bugs. Fu's face twitches before she steels herself and nods to Shibuki. Naruto frowns at their interaction. Shibuki didn't even notice that comment upset her, and she's used to it. Damn it, I have to do something. Later that night Naruto knocks on Fu's door. He has to wait shortly before Fu opens her door. She's haggardly dressed and has dripping wet hair, obviously just having gotten out of the shower. May I come in? No. Naruto sighs. At least she hasn't slammed the door in my face. Fu, please just hear me out, it doesn't have to be this way. You don't have to put up with bullshit like your village puts you through. Come to Konoha, I can offer you clan protection. Konoha will be forced to back you and respect my decision as long as my clan protection's in place. Fu, it can be better. Fu stares at Naruto intently before her eyes take on an impassive look and she slowly closes her door. Naruto sighs lightly, despite his failure to convince her he smiles. That was an improvement at least. It'll only take one good show of faith, a olive branch that shows I care. Just you wait sister, I'll figure something out. Fu watches the people around her as she sits in the corner of a small restaurant enjoying her meal. It's so different here. It was like this in Konoha too. Fu sneers as a nasty memory works its way to the forefront of her brain. My own parents betrayed me, why should I ever trust anyone else? Fu stands in a hurry and tosses the money for the meal on the table before storming out. I understand you don't want to fight anymore, but this is different cousin, help me protect those I care about better. Itachi glances at his cousin from their spot sitting on his back porch. You mean help you protect Naruto better? Satsuna pouts. Naruto-sama hardly needs protection, but I would like to catch up to him, he has multiple aces. Being an elite swordswoman and a ninjutsu specialist isn't enough. Nai-san. Itachi looks out across his backyard, he watches two hummingbirds dance around in the air before landing in a sakura tree. Most prodigies make terrible teachers. Everything just comes too easy, too natural for people like me. It's the hard workers, the ones who struggle for every ounce of their power, they make great teachers. You're not accounting for my Sharingan cousin. With it I can analyze and understand things faster than most others. Itachi sighs, you're not going to give up are you? No. Itachi nods slowly. Very well, I won't go easy on you. If Tsunade can really cure my blindness, I may even try to unlock your Mangekyo. Setsuna smiles at her cousin. I disagree, sir. I think a 10% tax on mangoes is more than enough for economic growth fund. Naruto does everything in his power to drown out the two village leaders' debate. It's settled then. When I become Hokage, somebody else is handling trade agreements. Naruto closes his eyes and feels a spike of chakra in the distance. Naruto frowns. That chakra, another spike of demonic chakra, spikes high enough that it overwhelms Naruto. Phew. Both village leaders jump and Naruto glares at Shibuki. Stay here. Phew sighs and closes her eyes. The sounds of the forest are a wonderful thing. Animals, birds, bugs flying about. There's something about pure nature without the taint of civilization that's just so appealing to her. Phew takes a deep breath through her nose, the smell of nature, mixed with the smell of moisture in the air. Fucking finally. Phew's pink eyes snap open on the two men wearing black and red cloaks. A deep baritone sigh comes from the other man. We could have did this quietly hidden. Boy. Fuck quiet, I wanna fight. Kakazu sighs and shrugs off his cloak. Too bad, I'm handling this. Phew narrows her eyes, and just as Kakazu raises his hands, she flashes through her own set of hand seals. Acid spit. Fire style. Great fireball jutsu. The ball of bright green acid eats its way through the fire. Both Kakazu and Haiden have to dodge out of its way. Haiden curses out as the acid eats away at his cloak. Son of a bitch. That shit burns. Kakazu grunts and releases one of his masked creatures. I know who you are, Kakazu of Taki. I know your tricks. The mask, the hearts. Taki keeps track of its missing nin. Phew's high in a tree looking around the trunk trying to catch sight of her attackers. Her eyes widen when she sees a black mass of tendrils flying toward her, led by a white mask. Shit. Moving too fast to hit. Phew jumps away from her spot trying to think of a strategy to destroy the heart. She puts her hands into the snake seal. Blinding scales jutsu. The masked creature shrieks as it's blinded by a bright white light that comes from Phew's body. It flies away as Phew lands on the ground. Phew lands in a crouch and looks around. Where are Fire Wind style? Magnificent hard work. Phew turns in time to see a fireball and a wind jutsu combine into a flaming tornado, aimed right at her. Phew ducks, but it's too late. The jutsu washes over her. Phew grits her teeth and gives into her Biju's chakra. Gra molten red chakra engulfs her and dispels the fire jutsu. Two bug-like wings sprout out of her back, and she flaps them. Phew shoots up above the trees, and she lets out a loud hissing noise. Soon afterwards a rain of acid falls down. Kakazu and Haiden are forced to dodge as the acid eats away everything it touches. One of Kakazu's hearts doesn't move fast enough, and the acid eats through the creature's mask and body. Kakazu curses. There goes my wind heart. Kakazu undoes the stitching on his forearm and sends his hand high into the air using his tendrils. Kakazu's hand latches onto one of Phew's wings. Kakazu jerks his hand like a whip and sends Phew crashing down into the ground. Kakazu jumps to her position while retracting his arm back in place. He lands and takes a demonic-powered kick to the face. Phew falls to one knee panting. Her demonic chakra is quickly dissipating. What's going on? It should last longer than this, Chime. Can you hear me? Phew glances back where Kakazu grabbed her and spots the 5-pronged seal. She curses while Kakazu clears his throat. That seal was expensive. But, in the end, worth it. No better way to deal with a rampaging Jinchuriki. Phew growls at Kakazu. I can still fight. Kakazu HMPHS not for long. Phew rolls away from Haiden as the scythe-wielding shinobi jumps out of a bush behind her, swinging his scythe. Shit. Thought I had her. Acid mist. Phew release her acidic mist at Haiden, said Shinobi Kimawari's away. A loud ringing fills the forest, drawing all three shinobi's attention. Rasen Shuriken. The blue glowing wind-bladed Rasengan flies through the air. Haiden dives to the ground. Holishid. Kakazu raises his arms. Odin mud wall. The wall rises quickly, and the Rasen Shuriken hits it and explodes outward in a blue and white explosion. Amos the Chaos Naruto jumps down from the trees beside Phew. What are you doing here? You're supposed to be with Shibuki. Naruto focuses his eyes on the spot. Kakazu, was Shibuki safe? You're not. Now stop complaining about someone giving a damn about you and pay attention. I'm not sure I killed Kakazu. The bastard's good at running away. Barama, I need you up in the where. I'm here, kid. They won't be catching us flat-footed. Naruto pulls out a kunai and raises his left hand. Focus there. Naruto flings his kunai through the debris smoke. Kakazu turns his head as the kunai whizzes past. He gets a glimpse of the handle. Shit. Kakazu swirls around following a flash of yellow behind him. Kakazu brings a kunai up and blocks Naruto's downward slash. Naruto growls at him. I'm gonna enjoy this, asshole. You won't get away this time. Kakazu grunts as Naruto lays on the pressure. Kakazu, you idiot. Behind Ak. Kakazu looks over his shoulder and his eyes widen. Another Naruto lays his hand on his shoulder and all his muscles go stiff. The Naruto in front of him poofs away. Shit. Naruto grins viciously. Paralysis seal. The only way you can overpower it is if you have more chakra than me. Let's just say I can count the people who have more chakra than me on my closed fist, surprise the number's 0. Naruto looks over his shoulder as his two clones drag Hyden over. Naruto shoves Kakazu onto his knees, and his clones shove Hyden down next to him. I've been thinking about killing you two for a very long time. It was actually a point of much quarrel in my mind. Back when I still had moral problems with killing people. Now though, nah, you two are the first on my crusade to eradicate the Akatsuki. I made something special for the immortal brothers. Naruto reaches into the pouch on his hip and pulls out what looks like an explosive tag. Naruto slams it onto Hyden's forehead. I worked on this for weeks. A concentrated explosive tag, it was a challenge. My theory was, could I make an explosion stronger while not increasing the blast radius? The answer is yes, I could. Have fun in hell, fellas. Naruto turns around and takes a few steps away. Once a few meters away from the duo he activates the tag. It glows a very bright yellow before it explodes. The explosion is an extremely white fiery controlled ball of inferno. The heat melts the tree bark nearest to the explosion. Naruto turns back as the explosion completely dissipates. There's nothing left but an extremely red glowing ground. Naruto nods before he turns back toward Fu, who watched on with an impassive expression. Those guys were Akatsuki, they hunt people like us. They killed a good friend of mine, she was like us, that was my vengeance. Fu looks at the burnt molten ground before she turns her eyes on Naruto. Did it make you feel better? Naruto frowns. There are two hands of fate. On his left is life, benevolence, light, making lives better. On his right, death, eradication, the void, taking life away. I like to believe I can be on both hands of fate. Did it make me feel better? No, nothing will change the fact I couldn't save my friend. But it feels really damn good getting rid of scum like them. Few. I've been told I have a flaw. I love too much. I don't think it's a flaw nor a weakness. I love people. I love my friends. I love my family, and I would destroy anyone, declare war on all of the nations for the people I love. Now, let's get that 5-pronged seal off you. After taking the seal off of Fu, the duo start walking back to the village. Fu is moving at a slow pace. Naruto moves at her pace. Eventually she turns toward him. Does your village treat you like mine treats me? Naruto looks down at his feet before looking up at her. Yes, for a very long time they did. Some of the civilians still do. But, most of the shinobi respect me, to extent, it took a lot of work. I had to fight a rampaging Biju, retrieve our village's current Hokage, almost die trying to stop a rogue shinobi from leaving our village, but I earned their respect. Fu, I'm not saying your situation is hopeless, you very well could earn your village's respect. I'll even let you claim Kakazu's bounty, and I'll back up any report you write. But, if you don't want to put up with it, my offer stands. Fu, I like to view other Jinchuriki as my siblings, brothers, sisters. I like to view you as my family. I take care of my family. Keep that kunai, and if you ever need me, don't hesitate. Fu quickly turns her head away from Naruto. He isn't sure, but he thinks he hears a sniffle. On their way back to the village, Fu starts showing signs of post-battle exhaustion, the after effect of an adrenaline high wearing off and using too much chakra too fast. The body goes into an exhausted state to recuperate as much energy as possible. Thus, she starts sluggishly walking, stumbling over the slightest change in terrain. Naruto, seeing her eyes half-lidded, quickly wraps an arm around her and brings her arm over his shoulder. Easy, I gotcha. Come on, let's get you to a warm bed so you can rest. But, Shibuki, he'll want to leave as soon as possible. Naruto shakes his head slowly. Not gonna happen, you need to rest. I'll handle Shibuki. As the duo approach the village gate, both guards jog toward them. Naruto-san. What can we do to help? Naruto raises his hand with a smile. Easy fellas, she's just exhausted. A couple hours of rest and she'll be back to 100. Both shinobi nod. On your word, Demon Slayer. Once Naruto and Fu get a little further away, Fu chuckles. Butt kissers. You really are famous, huh? Yup, I dare say I'm more popular in quite a few foreign countries than I am in my own. Fu chuckles. Wish we could trade places for a day, how I'd enjoy your fame. To live like a queen for a day. Naruto rolls his eyes. I'm not quite that famous. Well, maybe in the land of spring, Koyuki Haim wouldn't mind treating me like royalty for a day. I should introduce you to someday. Fu nods sluggishly. That'd be nice. Naruto gets Fu back to her bed before making his way back to Diaza and Shibuki. He enters Diaza's office and he glances at the two. You two make a deal yet? Shibuki nods. We have. I'm ready to leave at once. Naruto shakes his head. Not happening. 2's rank missing. Nin attacked Fu. When I arrived we turned the battle around, but right now she's exhausted. She needs at least a day to recover before she can travel again. Shibuki sighs. Such an inconvenience. Whatever. Diaza dono, it has been a pleasure, truly. I can take a day viewing your lovely village. Diaza nods, and Shibuki takes his leave. Naruto lays his hands on Diaza's desk. Konoha may have a falling out with Taki soon. If that happens, I trust you know which side you're gonna be on. Diaza grins at Naruto. I do. My country would turn on me if I turned on the man who took out Mavarth. Tell Tsunade-sama Inigakure is fully willing to form alliance, one which benefits Konoha. My country's major boon is our centralization, you understand. Each major village is a half a day away. Being so centralized, we can per se have a shinobi in each country very quickly. Naruto smiles at the rotund man. We have our own spies, Diaza-san. Truly, any alliance Konoha forms with Inigakure will be in Inigakure's favor, and trust I'll personally inform Tsunade of how cooperative you are. Good day, Diaza-san. Setsuna stabs her sword into the ground as she falls to one knee, sweating heavily. You're trying to kill me. Itachi flicks his tent. Oh no, I'm making sure someone else can't. For expert swordswoman, you tend to lose your edge very quickly. Setsuna glares at her cousin. You were constantly putting me under various genjutsu, layering them. If I didn't have my Sharingan I wouldn't be sure this isn't a genjutsu. Itachi nods. Always be suspicious. What if I told you are under a genjutsu? Suddenly Itachi fades away and the real Itachi taps the flat edge of his tanto against Setsuna's neck. She freezes. How did you do that? Itachi moves his tanto away from her and walks around so both of their Sharingans lock. I bypassed the visual cortex and placed a genjutsu on your eyes to perceive everything as normal while laying another one, making you think I was in front of you. That's ingenious. Theoretically that could even fool the Byakugan. Itachi shrugs. Maybe. That was the first time I tried it. If there's one lesson you learn from me, let it be this. Never be afraid to try new techniques. No great shinobi became great by using already known jutsu. We're done for the day. Come back later when you want more training. Setsuna stands and sheaths her sword. Thank you for this, cousin. I owe you one. Itachi shakes his head. No, consider this my repentance for what I did to our family. It's a start. See you. Itachi disappears in a murder of crows. Setsuna narrows her eyes. Show off. I gotta learn how to do that. Setsuna returns home, showers, and changes before going back out. Setsuna's already looked at the various buildings the Uzumaki clan has ownership of. She's been very busy, several of them are being leased out, one to an ambitious cook trying to make a big-time restaurant. Another she had fixed and is having made into a high-end apartment complex. And another building Setsuna is turning into the official Uzumaki clan manor. It helps the Uzumaki clan owns a lot of land around the old warehouse. It was as simple as tearing it down and hiring a professional builder. Convey her goal and ideas and let the man work. Kami knows Tazuna was happy to work for the Uzumaki clan on a project like this. Now she's working on the stocks the clan has with various pre-existing businesses. Determining which ones are useless and which ones are worth keeping, finding buyers to sell the stocks to, etc. etc. It's not very exciting work, but it has its merits. Like the fact Setsuna can drain the money from one stock and put the proceeds to a more ambitious bussiness, say, Ichiraku Ramen. Yes, Setsuna thinks Naruto is going to be very pleased with her work. After spending a few hours handling bussiness, Setsuna takes a break and sits outside a quaint little tea house. Fortunately, one of Anko's favorite things are tea houses. Yo. How you doing? Got laid yet? Setsuna raises her teacup to hide her blush as Anko takes a seat across from her. Hello Anko-san. How are you? Anko pops her neck. You know, a little sore and bored. You know Nimu's never gonna leave the department. Despite her demeanor she's shy as a mouse. You or Naruto's gonna have to drag her out. I'll keep that in mind, Anko-san. Anko orders her own drink. You know the academy's got a new batch of graduates in a week. Rumor has it Tsunade's thinking about sticking blonde with a team. Setsuna raises an eyebrow. Tsunade-sen wants Naruto to teach a genin team. Anko nods. Yup. Think about it, she's grooming him for Hokage later down the line. Every great Hokage has taught a genin team. If he can prove he's a good sensei, that's good public image and will really weigh in his favor when he eventually runs for office. Setsuna places her teacup down and loons at Anko in thought. I see your point. But, you aren't factoring in what Naruto-sama wants. I can't speak for him, but I highly doubt he'll support the idea of taking on a genin team. He just got back, he likes field work, hard missions. More importantly, he wants to take down the Akatsuki before he starts focusing on chasing Hokage. Not to mention he still wants to bring Sasuke back. It's just not the right time for him to focus on teaching others. Anko shrugs. Well, the kid has the right to refuse. Kami knows I did whenever she tried to stick me with a team of brats. Yeah, I can't see you having the patience to teach. Anko looks at Setsuna indignantly. Hi. I can teach, I taught Nimu all her best torture methods, I just don't like teaching squeamish brats who have never seen a dead body. The much work. Setsuna crosses her legs under the table and leans forward in her seat. I wonder who Tsunade-sen would have Naruto-sama teach. Tsunade sighs, looking over the various open files on her desk. Shizune, this generation's giving me a headache. I mean, come on. Most of them barely passed. Besides the prodigy, she passed everything, but the rest of her classmates resent her. The only way I can think to counterbalance her is with a dead last and another. But who should I add? Shizune looks over the files before her eyes land on a particularly troubled student. Shizune places her pointer finger on the file. Tsunade looks at the picture and raises eyebrow him. Really? Shizune nods. Tsunade puts the 3 files together and sighs. It'll take active kami for this team to work. Shizune, make copies of these files. When Naruto gets back, give them to him, tell him he has till Tuesday morning to decide. The next day came fast. The trip back to Taki was one undertaken in silence. Fuse avoided both the men, seemingly lost in thought. Naruto escorts Shibuki back into his tower. Once inside, Shibuki gives Naruto a file. Give that to your Hokage. Consider your mission accomplished, shinobi. Naruto nods and walks out. Naruto looks up toward the tree and sighs. Naruto makes it to the crack in the cliff. Wait. Naruto turns around and Fuse standing there without her to Kigakur Heshiate. Take me with you. Naruto smiles at her. I knew you'd make the right decision. Can you fly without losing yourself? Fuse nods. Good, fly over the wall and meet me in the forest. We need to get to Konoha and get ahead of Taki before they realize you left with me. Let's get moving. Naruto and Fuse double time it back to Konoha and make it by mid-afternoon. Naruto hurriedly walks past Yuzumo and Kitetsu. Sorry guys, urgent bussiness. Kitetsu shoves Yuzumo before he can complain about protocol. Naruto makes a clone that flashes away in a Hirishin. We gotta get everything in motion quickly. Naruto leads Fuse to the Hokage tower. Satsuna is there waiting for them. She falls in line beside Naruto. Naruto-sama. Satsuna-chan, come on, we need to see Ba-chan. Naruto leads both the women to the Hokage's office where he knocks. No answer, he knocks again. No answer. On the 3rd time the door slings open. I told Shizune to Naruto. Naruto looks at Tsunade and further in the room at the Mizukage, along with her entourage Shijuro and Ao. Naruto levels his eyes back on Tsunade. Sorry to interrupt, but this is urgent, I need you to call a council meeting. Tsunade looks between Naruto and his female companions. Naruto, an important meeting is going on. Mei pipes up from behind her. Nonsense. Our meeting can be done at any time. If Naruto-kun says it's urgent, I believe he's due the benefit of the doubt. Handle your village bussiness, Tsunade. Dono. We can talk alliance after. Tsunade throws her hands up in exasperation. Hours of deliberation thrown in the wind. Anbu. Assemble the council. Tsunade storms down the hallway leading to the stairs. Naruto smiles at Mei. Thanks, Mei. Mei nods. The least I could do. Hero of the Bloody Mist. Naruto rolls his eyes. So many monikers, I'm not sure I even deserve that one. Mei chuckles while Lao scowls. You killed at least 100 Kiri loyalists in one battle, boy, and you delivered the killing blow on Yagura. Back in my day we took full credit of our kills and accepted our titles. Naruto raises an eyebrow at the shinobi who looks to be in his mid-40s. Yeah, okay. Chijuro, Ao, Mei. I'll see you after the meeting. Come on Fuse, Satsuna-chan. We have a pot to stir. Naruto hurries after Tsunade, Fuse close behind. Satsuna closes the office door with a nod before following. Ao sighs and leans against a wall. I think we're gonna be here a while. Mei pops her bottom lip and smirks. Please, that meeting will last 20 minutes, tops. What do you think, Chijuro-kun? Chijuro looks up at Mei and Naruto-san. Look different. Mei smiles at him. What man wouldn't look different with 2 beautiful ladies following him around? Ao grunts. The kid means he looked happier. You remember how serious he was during the war? Kid didn't smile once. His face was always a solid stone facade. But now, he looks softer. Kid looked like he could break out with a smile any second. Naruto takes a seat, Satsuna standing to his left, Fuse to his right. Tsunade's already in her seat leaning on her palm watching as the other counselors and clan heads walk in. The civilians don't look too happy to be here, the clan heads look curious or in Shikaku's case sleepy. Once everyone's seated, Tsunade picks up her gavel and slams it on her desk. This council meeting is now in session. Naruto Uzumaki has expressed an urgent matter which needs to be discussed. You have the floor, Naruto. Naruto crosses his arms and sweeps his eyes over everyone. Okay. Firstly, Onigakur has expressed interest in alliance with Konoha. I think we should really consider it. They have unique resources they are willing to outsource. They don't have many shinobi, but most of them are highly trained. Secondly, this here is Fuse, formerly a Tokigakur shinobi. The Uzumaki clan is extending its clan protection to her. Due to her Jinchuriki status, I believe Taki won't be happy with her going rogue. I called this council to formally warn the village. Taki may betray us as soon as they realize where she went. I will not be retracting my clan protection of her under any circumstance. Due to Taki's pending betrayal, the Onigakur alliance should be our first priority. I have no doubt Onigakur will choose Konoha over Taki. That is all. The clan heads each seem to be in thought. Surprisingly, Shikaku is sitting up with his fingers steepled. The civilians are a lot more vocal, particularly in their protest. You have no right to do that, demon. You're putting our village at risk for an outsider. One we can't trust. A loud bang echoes through the chambers. Everyone looks to the cause. Danzo struck his cane on the ground. I support Uzumaki-san's decision. Every clan in our village's history has used clan protection, and now Uzumaki-san is exercising his clan's authority. No amount of protest can make Uzumaki-san lift his protection. Now do we anything else to discuss? Naruto shakes his head before leaning over to Fu. No matter what, stay away from him. He's not on our side. Fu nods while Tsunade strikes her desk with her gavel. This council meeting is adjourned. Everyone is dismissed. Naruto places a hand on Satsuna's arm and Fu's, all three of them disappear in a yellow flash. Naruto reappears in Tsunade's chair, he leans back. I could get used to this, Naruto. Naruto leans forward and looks at Mei, she's looking at him with an amused expression. What are you doing? Oh, I just wanted to get here before Bachan. Nothing like instant teleportation. How's your village doing, Mei? It's going well. Many clans have returned from hiding. Rebuilding structures is going well, and our economy is getting close to stabilizing. Alliance with Konoha and Suna should do the trick. We'll be reinstating the academy soon, and I plan to offer the next Chunin exams when the time comes. All in all, everything's going well. Naruto smiles. When you're done with Bachan, if you want a tour, come find me. I gotta get Fu settled somewhere. The door to the room slams open. Tsunade glares at Naruto. Shizune. Get in here. Get out of my seat, brat, you gotta earn that chair. Naruto salutes and jumps over the desk. Shizune runs into the room. Lady Tsunade. Oh. Naruto. Shizune reaches into her satchel and pulls out a few files, she shoves them into Naruto's arms. Here, read these in your own time. You have until Tuesday next week. Naruto raises an eyebrow as he seals the files away. Alright, come on Fu, let's find you a new home. Come on Satsuna-chan. Nagato looks out across the hidden rain through his Diva Path's eyes. The never-ending rain beats down against the village below Madara. Obito walks out of the shadows behind him. Pain. Zetsu found Kisam's body, his sword wasn't there. No sign of Itachi, but if he's alive I think I know where he went. Haiden and Kakazu disappeared. Only sign left was a scorched ground. Somebody's hunting us. Pain. We need to lay low, we've already got 4 of the tailed beast, we don't need to be in a hurry to get the rest. They're gonna be easy, and we have to wait for the Sambi to reform. Let's call off hunting for now, turn Sasori and Deidara loose for a while. While I investigate, we need to be on the lookout for possible recruits. Nagato hums. My patience wears thin. Madara. You are immortal, I am not. 1 year. In 1 year we move on all the tailed beast. Obito nods as you say. Pain. Naruto licks his finger as he flicks open the file. Naruto raises an eyebrow and reads a few words. No parents, dead last, no form. It's like somebody copied my academy scores and gave them to another student. Naruto closes the file and opens another. He whistles. Wow, that's impressive, skipped a whole year, didn't have to show up for the majority of the last, except for major test, total prodigy with clan training. Naruto closes the file and opens the last. He furrows his brow. Never tries, never applies himself, no disciplinary actions. Why wasn't this kid dead last? Naruto looks at the kid's picture. Strange, those scars on his hands tell a different story than never trying. Bias. I need to look into this. You up for spying on kid Satsuna-chan? Naruto throws the files on his kitchen table. Satsuna looks over all 3 of their pictures. Not my favorite pastime, but it could be fun. Are you considering being a sensei, Naruto-sama? Naruto smiles at her. I am. I think I'd make a great teacher and team leader. Plus it'll give me more rep when I become Hokage. I can still hunt the Akatsuki and Orochimaru if we get a lead. I can just leave my students with a clone with half my chakra. Satsuna bows her head. I respect your decision, Naruto-sama. Naruto looks over at Satsuna and grabs her hand. Oh, and Suna-chan, good job. Handling the council, handling the properties, and stocks. Really, I couldn't have handled it as good as you did. Satsuna smiles at Naruto and does her best to mask her blush. Thank you, Naruto-sama. Naruto pushes himself up out of his seat and turns toward her. He crosses his arms with a sigh. That being said, you threatened Danzo. Spooked him. Now he's unpredictable. Right now he's probably thinking about the best way to get rid of us or turn us to his side. I plan to let him live for a while longer. Compile evidence and present him to the people on a golden platter of his corruption. But now we might just have to kill him, make sure the body completely vanishes. We also have to discern which of his root shinobi are hopeless and which ones can be turned once their master's dead. We don't need to move fast, but we do need to keep our heads on a swivel. Don't give him an opportunity for a hit, don't give him leverage. You warn Karen, I'll explain the situation further to Fu. 2 days pass in relative peace in the Hidden Leaf village. The Hyuga clan has been everything but peaceful the last few days. Hiyasha's been doing everything in his power to weather the storm, to fix his clan. But with his own daughter questioning everything the clan stands for, he's finding his job harder and harder each passing day. Anabi closes an old file and uncrosses her legs. She looks up. Was it really this bad, cousin? Was I so blind? Niji cringes. A Hyuga being called blind is a very taboo insult to the whole clan. You are young, Hanabi. It's natural for children to have warped views of the world. I myself had a warped view until I was 14. Hanabi looks at her cousin. You mean until Naruto? Neji nods. Your father wishes to meet me soon, Hanabi. Is there anything else you want? Hanabi sighs and stands up. File in hand. Train with me tomorrow, cousin. Of course. Hanabi returns the file to the archives and makes her way to the Hyuga training yard. Hinata is already there. Hanabi clicks her tongue, getting Hinata's attention. Train with me, sister. Hinata nods as Hanabi slips into her stance. Byakugan. They both call out and rush forward. Hinata launches a palm strike at Hanabi's face. Hanabi changes her stance and jams her pointer finger into Hinata's wrist and her other hand into her elbow joint. Hinata jumps back with a hiss. Focus, sister. We aren't kids anymore, we're both faster and more dangerous. Hinata shakes out her arm with a nod. The sisters rush at each other. Naruto and Setsuna are sitting atop the roof of one of the Hyuga's buildings, watching the fight. Firecrackers fast, really fast, but Hinata's holding back. I know she can move faster than that. Setsuna watches the duo fight with her Sharingan. Their style is so beautiful. It's like a dance of death. One false move and a chakra-powered strike will end the other's life. You're right, I see a hesitation in the older girl's step. Half a second, Atlas. That's enough for Firecracker, as you call her, to capitalize. They're both just using Taijutsu. I wonder if they know any other advanced techniques. Naruto nods. Hinata invented her known Tai ninjutsu technique, and I have no doubt she probably knows more. Firecracker's a prodigy who trains with her father, sister and cousin regularly. I'm willing to bet she knows at least one Hyuga-styled ninjutsu. Come on, the Hyuga clan's the last clan we want to be caught spying on. They both disappear in a swirl of leaves. The girl walks out of her house stretching out her arms. She has on brown cargo shorts, a red sleeveless shirt and black forearm warmers. Her hair is wild and black, much like a certain Inyazuka clan matriarch. Her lively canine-like hazel eyes scan the tall trees around her clan house. She has red clan markings on both of her cheeks. She smiles down at her partner, a black wolf-like puppy. The dog has his pointy ears perked up, looking up at his partner. Let's go, Shimaru. We gotta train and get ready. We're gonna be real ninjas soon, woof. The girl slams her fist into her open palm right. She runs off, her ninkin following closely. She runs through the clan's ground, ignoring any of her clanmates she passes. She runs further into the woods, away from the clan grounds, into a small clearing. Once there, she starts going through brawling moves, hitting a tree. From high up in the trees, Naruto sighs lightly. She's not doing herself any favors. Training doesn't help when you train wrong, I know that from experience. Setsuna nods from her spot, sitting on a branch. No style, no finesse. Why doesn't she know clan techniques or the clan's fighting style? Naruto freezes. I didn't think about that. Even with her parents dead, her clan should be looking out for her. Something to ponder. Let's just see what else she does, then we can check out the last one. Suddenly a kunai whizzes past Naruto's head from below. Come out. I can hear and smell you. Naruto's eyes widen and he looks at Setsuna. They both nod and disappear in a swirl of leaves. I'm going out, mom. Okay, honey. Be back in time for dinner, your father's closing shop early tonight. The boy closes the door behind him. He's wearing black cargo-style pants, a black shirt and an ocean blue jacket. He has on ocean blue glasses. Finally, he has short brown hair. He grips a sheathed wooden bakken on his hip. Before jogging off, the boy runs to a training ground. Once there, he unsheathes his bakken and starts whacking away at a training post. From up in a tree, Setsuna sneers. No finesse, he's wasting energy. Any swordsman worth his salt knows you create a flow with your strikes to conserve energy. Even amateurs should know that. Naruto nods. He dresses like a rich boy and fights like one too. Rich civilian merchant parents will do that. File told me he's got an attitude problem toward everyone he views as below him, but he's a real butt kisser for superiors. Add that superiority complex to rich parents and you get a kid with no formal training who barely passed the academy. Are you going to take them on? Naruto grins at Setsuna. Yup. They need work, a lot of work, but I can fix them. The girl, Ayla Inyazuka, she's a natural sensor. There's no way she heard us, smell us. Maybe. But I think she sensed us. The boy, Trey Kyoto, no talent, rich kid who nevertheless trains every chance he gets. With your help we can turn him into a real swordsman. I can handle his attitude problem. Being on a team with Firecracker will put them at each other's throats. That'll be good. Competition. I can turn that resentment into camaraderie. Nothing brings a team closer than taking missions together and being forced to interact and try to understand each other. Finally, Firecracker, a goldmine of talent. I can shine that diamond into a priceless piece of artwork. I think I can turn them into a team the village can be proud of. Setsuna looks down at Trey as he continues to hack away at the training post. It'll take a lot of work to turn that into a real swordman. But I'm up for the challenge, Naruto-sama. I'm gonna go see Tsunade-bachan, you can tag along if you want. If not, you have time off indefinitely, no more service. When you come see me, or we meet at home, we see each other as a couple and not as a master and his servant. Setsuna bows her head. Of course, Naruto-sama. I will humbly await my recall into service. Naruto nods before he disappears in a yellow flash. Setsuna looks down at the boy. Time to tear down a boy who thinks he has talent. 4 days until he joins a team, enough to drill in a few basics. Setsuna lands in the middle of the training ground a few meters behind Trey. Your form sucks. Trey spins around, his bakken raised, he has it gripped in both hands. Trey narrows his eyes. You're the Ichiha. My parents tell me you're trouble. Setsuna raises an eyebrow. Oh? Did your parents also tell you I'm the best swordswoman in Konoha? Thought not. Tell you what boy, you land a hit on me with that wooden toy of yours, and I'll leave and admit you're the better swordsman, you fail, and you're my student until I say otherwise. Trey sneers at her. Whatever. This'll be over quickly. Setsuna draws her sword and stabs it into the ground. She quickly unwraps her sheath and holds it like a blade. Prepare yourself. Setsuna blurs forward. I'll attack him. Tsunade looks up from her desk at Naruto, who's leaning against a wall beside the portrait of the 4th Hokage. Technically you won't be their sensei unless they pass a Jounin's test, an exam you have to make up and enforce. If they pass you'll officially be their sensei. Naruto nods. Sounds good. There's still 4 days till they return to the academy for team placement. Plenty of time to think up a test. Still, I need to look into something. How cooperative is Tsunade? Tsunade puts her pin down and crosses her arms. Either very or not. She can be extremely stubborn or extremely cooperative. I think she likes you Naruto, so she might give you a little leeway. She respects your authority. In Yuzuka thing I juice. Naruto nods. Good enough. What can you tell me about her relationship with Ayla? Tsunade whistles. Tsume's her aunt. Tsume's little sister Natsumi married a merchant and they had a kid. Natsumi ended up failing a mission and became persecuted by her clan and sister. She later died during childbirth. Her husband took care of their daughter until she was 4, then he took his own life. Losing his wife and raising a little girl while being scorned by the clan, it was just too much for him. Naruto sighs. A broken home. That's terrible. But, I'm going to have to confront Tsume. She's neglecting her niece. Not training her in clan techniques, that's a duty that falls on next of kin. Her negligence has screwed the girl over. She very well could be a damn good ninja by now otherwise. Tsunade stares at Naruto before she looks out her window. I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but I think you should wait till the girl is actually your student before you start going against the clan. Naruto smirks at Tsunade. That was my plan. Trust me Bachan. If anything I'm good at reading people, that girl's got a mask I gotta shatter and replace with real confidence. I'll either repair her relationship with her family or I'll make her team her new one. Now if you'll excuse me, I have plans to make and people to talk to.